This episode of the Boss Rush Podcast is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to support the Boss Rush Network and our family of podcasts, head on over to our Patreon at patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. Thanks for your continued support. Okay, well, we're all here to talk about these Game of the Year categories and to at least put 5 games in each category. Now, most of these are going to be fun because they have more than 5 games, but other ones might not be so fun because we have to fill them up. So, and I feel like if we can't fill them up, we should delete the category.
I agree. I concur.
So
I went through and because I thought we were doing choose 3 on each category.
Oh no, we were just kind of like putting things wherever. So each category will have 5. So also we're recording this because we're giving our patrons some extra content. So congratulations, you January patrons. You get to listen to us yell at each other about Game of the Year stuff,
which is cool. Which be me.
You all get to see how we really treat it in a real life setting.
Yep. Well, some people listen to Pow Block. They get the PG version of that sometimes.
Everybody get ready for all the tears and the hate that I'm about to feel.
Side tangent. Someone I work with, so my work computer is like on its last leg and I'm getting a new one in the new year. But because it makes so many funny noises, he made me this sign. I don't know if you can see it, but he made that for my computer.
Please don't die.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it.
It's fun. So patrons, congratulations. You're going to listen to us not in podcast form, just yelling at each other. So we have Pat, we have LeRon, we have Ed, we have Stephanie, and of course me. And we are going to yell about Game of the Year. Here are the categories we will be discussing tonight. And this will all come out in one big video, probably after our massive Game of the Year video that LeRon and I are kind of co-editing and producing. And then everybody here will have a part in that as well in terms of VO. But yeah, so we're going to be discussing best art direction, best remake / re-release, best expansion / DLC, best indie game, best bad guy, best new hardware, studio of the year, best trailer, best storytelling, best RPG, best action adventure, best fighting game, best soundtrack, best sound design, best horror game, best feel-good game, games for impact, husbando of the year, waifu of the year, best worst game, best film and TV adaptation, best strategy game, biggest dork or unlikely hero. I think we all have a favorite in that category.
There is really only one choice in this category, and if it's not him, then
I know.
Then clearly you need to go and play that game.
Most memorable moment of 2023, best performance, best new character, most anticipated game of 2024, and then we're going to do our Game of the Year discussions for each console and overall Game of the Year, and then possibly PC. There's going to be an asterisk next to all of these because if we can't fill the category or we don't deem it necessary, we are going to remove it from this list. So my initial thoughts are actually the console specific games of the year, but I know people like that stuff, so that's why it's here. Anyway, all games are created equal, everybody. Sometimes. Unless you're
tell that to King Kong and Lord of the Ring Gollum.
And the Bluey game, which we completed this weekend with my kids, and
the Bluey game?
It's so bad.
I heard it bad. Everybody was so excited for that game, and then
I was.
I didn't hear I didn't get to see any reviews for that game. I just
IGN
now
gave it a
finding out
4 out
that.
of 10, and I think that was being nice.
Oh wow!
I think it
Too
gets
bad
a
you didn't
4.
win that Bluey Xbox
I
to
know.
go with the game.
I wanted that. I entered that contest. But yeah, I think Blue got a 4 out of 10 from IGN for its voice work and its animation alone,
Oh
because
wow!
everything else about it is bad.
Worse than like
Yikes.
Ren and Stimpy on Super Nintendo.
Dude, it's
Wow.
bad. I never played Ren and Stimpy on Super Nintendo, but I'm gonna say sure.
Oh, you miss. Okay.
All right. So, anybody have any final thoughts before we begin this? Anybody want to have any rule sets, any declarations, any anything?
Well, let's set the record straight here, okay? Two things. 2023 was probably one of the best years in gaming recently, not necessarily all time, because that's another topic in itself.
Oh, it's coming in 2024, the third episode of the year. I think we're gonna discuss the last 10 years of gaming.
Yeah, I mean, for me, this year really was the best, but we got to acknowledge, this has been one of the best, and therefore, not everyone's game that they might be hoping to see will be on here. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but is the general consensus is we're really only putting up games that we've had experience with, or are we also putting up games that we might not have played, but we acknowledge they might have like a
That part.
recognition?
That part, because
It's
like you guys and all the listeners of the Boss Rush podcast know, like I universally have not played a lot of games this year.
Yeah. Also, it's worth noting, and he couldn't be here tonight, but David Lasby contributed to this list as well.
Yeah, boss man.
So
It-
shout out.
That's
to,
why Aliens was on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The thing, yeah,
Every
the thing-
category just says aliens. And
the thing with me is that I played about 80% of this whole list and finished.
Okay,
Nice.
so we need to put you in a special box then. Out of
Yep.
80% of this list, how many of you have you beaten?
where's Ed's special sign that says I'm special? So special.
Just throw a rough percentage number out there. Out of 80% of these games, how many have you beaten?
probably about 50%.
Damn.
I can't.
Pat,
I
how
can't-
many games did you beat this year?
Hold on, I can't. But I can acknowledge that I didn't play only the PlayStation stuff. I didn't play because I don't have a PS5. That stuff I can acknowledge. Everything else mostly on the list. Everything else mostly on this list I have played.
Well, everything else on
Maybe.
PlayStation pretty much came to everything else except for Spider-Man.
Exactly. PlayStation did not have a lot of exclusives this year, so
And Final Fantasy, I guess.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
Forspoken.
To answer your question, I'm on track for 47.
Dude,
amazing.
beat 3 more games by Monday.
I know.
Please.
Yeah. Can you get?
Go
You
Go
know
on
what?
the Xbox,
You average basically a game every 2 weeks.
Go on the Xbox achievements. The achievement. It's not Achievement Hunters. It's another one. But like, they have games that you can beat in 3 hours or less. There's a whole list of them. You get all the achievements. Bluey's one of them. You can get all the achievements in under 2 hours.
Nice.
There you
Don't
go.
do it to yourself.
It's
Don't
on
do it
sale
to
too
yourself.
if you wanna.
Don't do it to yourself.
But I will say, like a lot of the stuff, definitely a lot of the Nintendo stuff I have played and beaten. And a lot of the third party stuff I have played and beaten on Xbox.
I don't understand how you people with full-time jobs can play and beat all these games. Shit, like I am happy that I beat 4 games this year. I am so happy.
I think I beat double-digit games for the first time in probably a decade this year.
I run a business.
Let's see.
Well,
If I were to beat double-digit games this year, I feel like my business would be in a slump.
I think that's why I definitely with the Nintendo stuff that I fight so hard for it, because it's just like, even though it is a good year for games, I sometimes feel like people don't acknowledge the fact that majority of the good games that really came out were Nintendo, and
Okay, we'll make that subjective.
Yeah, we're
just saying for me.
Yeah, and obviously Nintendo Power Block. That will be our entire first episode of the year. Will be that discussion of Nintendo Game of the Year, right? And then our expansion pass will be our overall games of the year for that, and then obviously Boss Rush will be our top 5 or 10 games of the year. I don't know.
You know what?
I don't know if we've decided that yet or not, but
You know what? As a real quick icebreaker for the patrons and for the patrons that are listening,
Yes, the
like,
icebreaker.
real quick,
10 minutes into
no, for real. Like this, like we'll do this, and then we'll start with the voting and stuff like that. We'll start with the voting and the conversations about like the topics and stuff.
Also,
just real quickly.
wow. I was gonna say, patrons, this voting will be open to you as well, but I think this is going up. I don't know when this video is going up, so TBD on that. But if it does go up before mid-January, you'll be able to vote on this through a Google survey. Which, by the way, should we be creating a Google survey as we go through this list?
Yeah.
Let's create the Google survey after we've gone through this list. After we've done what we need to do, you know.
Yeah, I've never created a Google survey before.
Yeah, just so I feel like for the sake of time, you know.
If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network and our family of podcasts.
All right. So real quickly, everybody, as we get ready to start like doing our thing and talking about like all these categories and all these games that are in these categories, real quickly, because I feel like still at this point, like a lot of our listeners do not know enough about us. So real quickly, just introduce yourself and tell them what your one favorite genre of video gaming is. I'll go first. I'm LeRon Dawkins. I run the Crossroads game show, the game podcast. And
right, what happened with that?
You know, the
my
game
favorite
show.
My favorite genre of video games is actual rhythm and music games.
Did you play the Fortnite rhythm game that just came out? The Rock Band?
I haven't played Fortnite since it was in alpha on PlayStation 4.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're essentially making Rock Band 5 and they're bringing out plastic instruments next year.
And I don't have an old guitar either.
Yeah, PDP is making guitars next year.
I'm not spending money. I'm not spending money on it unless they're bringing DJ Hero back. I'm not spending money on a peripheral.
DJ Hero.
Do we know if it's going to be the 5 color frets or are they going to go the grand?
I think it's 4.
4.
The way the game plays now, it's 4.
Okay.
So
I like when they did Guitar Hero Live and they actually did 3 on top and 3 on bottom.
Yeah.
And that kind of switched it up a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, who's next?
Well, since Pat's already talking, he should go next.
Well, I'm Patrick. I am the co-host of the Boss Rush flagship podcast, and I play a lot of video games. I play a lot of role-playing games is my specialty, but I will play anything that comes my way.
Ed, I guess it's your turn.
Wait,
you're next. You're next on my screen.
It doesn't. It doesn't matter who goes. We just go.
Hello, everybody. I'm Eddie V. I'm host of Nintendo Pop Block and Expansion Pass. Part of all things Nintendo here on Boss Rush. And my favorite genre of gaming is RPGs.
Stephanie's next.
I am Stephanie, one of the co-hosts of Boss Rush podcast, and I'm also on After Dark. I'm kind of probably the most basic gamer out there. I like my third-person action-adventure game. Anything from Legend of Zelda to Red Dead 2 to Ghost of Tsushima, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I know the one genre Corey's got. So it starts with a D and ends Destiny.
That's not a genre. That's a game.
It is a world and an experience, Ed.
I'll talk to you about that later.
And this season's actually really good.
Or is it start for D and ends with Isney Dreamlight Valley?
Sure. It's also
go ahead. I'm being a jerk, Corey. Go ahead.
Corey likes
that's actually
world's live service games.
No.
Yeah, that's his genre.
No, here's the thing. I actually don't I really don't care about live service games at all. Except for
they happen to be your favorite. That's all.
Destiny. No,
they're taking up all his time this year.
Oh, geez. My favorite genre is actually the third-person action-adventure game.
Okay.
Like, I would say yes, Zelda, but I would say more like Tomb Raider and Uncharted and that style also. I've been playing a lot of those lately.
I just installed Rise of the Tomb Raider on Series X.
That whole trilogy is so good. It's on sale for like $6 on Steam right now. So
I'm tempted to get it on Series X. I think it was like 17.
it's $16.99 for the whole entire trilogy and all the DLC on Xbox right now.
And that's the only thing I would wonder for is the DLC. But I'm like, it's no Series X update, so I'm just like
There is for Shadow. And Rise had an Xbox One X update, so it's essentially the same thing.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at. So I guess we should get into these categories now. We're gonna start with best art direction. Right now, our nominees for best art direction are
Is every game.
Yeah, every game.
Sorry.
Hi-Fi Rush.
Probably define what art direction is so that we can get a better idea how to narrow this
Yeah.
down.
I guess
I feel like that should have been synopsized before we got to this point. So how about we do that in post?
Well, let's just, as we go through, we'll just do the synopsis of the category before we read the nominees. So
okay, you know what? Actually, here. So let me do this then. I'm gonna make an edit.
Make the edit.
Yeah.
All right. So best art direction. Now we can start typing this information in there. All
right. So for me, best art direction is basically a game that that's art style makes it look more unique than the traditional hyper realistic games, or something that makes it stand out. Like, this year I think Hi-Fi Rush was really the first game that stood out artistically. I also think Destiny 2 Lightfall's kind of synthetic, kind of synthwave techno art style for its new expansion kind of made it stand out a little bit. Mario Wonder, I think everybody kind of thinks that stands out in terms of animation and design. So, obviously Breath of the Wild was that in 2017, and Tears of the Kingdom kind of follows that up, right? So that kind of thing where it makes it stand out artistically. Also, you could do something really interesting like what Alan Wake does, swapping between worlds and the dark place. And Stephanie, you and Pat would probably know more about that art style than anybody here, but that's the concept. Or even something like Cyberpunk's Phantom Liberty kind of brought this updated cyberpunk look, I guess you would say, to Cyberpunk. So that's kind of where we're at here. How would you define that? Games, LeRon, you wrote this, right? Did you write that?
Yeah, I just wrote that. Yeah.
Okay. So our nominees this year are Hi-Fi Rush, Destiny 2 Lightfall, Super Mario Wonder, Tears of the Kingdom, as I scroll past everything else, Alan Wake 2, Cyberpunk 2077, Phantom Liberty, Sea of Stars, Bomb Rush, Cyberpunk, Cocoon, and Tachia. Now that's what, 10 nominees? 10 nominees, and we need to narrow this down to 5. I'm going to go ahead and take a bullet for Destiny, because even though I really think that art style stands out, I know a lot of people, especially in our community, don't play Destiny and probably don't care, and I feel like I would be the only one that would be voting for it. So I'll take a bullet and delete that from the list. I just thought the art style was really cool. Unless anybody opposes, I'm not going to say no to opposing that, but
nope.
No oppose.
I have no opposition.
Great. Okay. Bye,
bullet.
Destiny. See you later.
Well, I'll say one thing. Oh, go ahead, Ed.
Oh, I was going to say Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty. I think
okay.
Explain. That needs to go.
Explain.
I think it's too late to have art direction choice from them from their past, even though they caught up and remade the game and it looks a little bit better. There's still problems with it. It still looks kind of generic in a sense.
Well, we're talking about Phantom Liberty itself.
I mean,
whoa.
In this art style itself, I'm just like, it doesn't look impressive or anything. For the art direction.
This is
I have a yes or no question for you. Did
Mhm.
you play it, and did you play it all the way through?
I did not play it yet,
Okay, so
Yet?
but
Mm.
how can you say that when you haven't played it?
just by visually seeing it. I have seen playthroughs of it. I have seen the commercial. I have seen how it looks, and yeah, it looks nice. But I'm like, this kind of category, Alan Wake 2 is something that will crush the looks of the direction they went with Cyberpunk, and I just feel like it's too late for that art style to really like speak something. I think like something like Alan Wake 2 stands out because of the art style they're using. Alan Wake 2 is in a little bit terms looks better than Unreal Engine 5 when it comes to graphics and the art direction used on that engine and stuff. That's just me, but I'm just saying Cyberpunk, it just doesn't look no different than when the game originally came out. It's better because of the updates, but it's just too late to seem impressive in this day and age. It doesn't really. I don't feel like it really stands out and does anything.
Okay, are you done?
I would from that perspective, I would say I think there are games that, granted, I'm speaking from a console's perspective, right? I'm sure. I mean, you can make any game look amazing on PC. I'm assuming if you have either the right mods or the right tools or the right hardware, right? But I would say from a console perspective, from what I've seen of Phantom Liberty, it looks really, really impressive. But I would say there are probably probably 3 to 5 other games on here I would pick before that, just for the simple fact that Cyberpunk, Phantom Liberty, and I could have made this discussion for Destiny 2, but I didn't. It's an expansion and not a full release. I would also say that there are other games on here. I would say Alan Wake 2 probably would edge out this for me in terms of visual distinction. Just because, like, yes, Cyberpunk is visually impressive and does a lot of interesting, cool things, but I feel like Cyberpunk, not the game, but as a genre, is a lot of samey type art styles. Like, you look at something like Blade Runner, and granted, you're not having these mantis arms come out and like slaughtering people, right? But like the settings kind of look similar, and they look kind of, you know, 80s dystopian kind of future tech type stuff. And as someone who played Cyberpunk, I really enjoyed the look, but it kind of just felt like a future tech GTA world to me.
I mean, it's
And
supposed to be a dystopian society.
no, I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, but I'm not saying the dystopian part. We've also seen that in other genres and other games like Fallout, and granted, these games don't look as good as Cyberpunk, right? But I'm saying like that genre is kind of, I feel like it's tried and true, and even the best of that genre still looks similar to previous entries to a cyberpunk genre, in my opinion. Also,
No.
granted, I haven't played Phantom Liberty, and I think the stuff I've seen from it looks awesome.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think like
Interpret-
the Netflix TV show looks better than the game. Like
Oh my
when it comes
Well,
to when it
that's
comes
a
to,
totally
No,
different
I'm
art
saying, but
perspective.
I'm saying, and I'm
please,
saying,
please mute him. Please mute him.
I'm saying in art direction, the TV show
Well,
looks
we're not
really
talking about the
good.
TV show. We're
I
comparing
know
this to the other games in the
I'm using that as my own personal comparison, saying that the TV show looks better than the game because of I feel like that's a great art direction idea that a company can go and use, and it will look more appealing. I'm just speaking for myself, not speaking for
Mhm.
anybody else.
Well,
Yeah.
I am not opposed to getting rid of Cyberpunk 2077. I am going to defend the fact that it is a very beautiful game, and their use of ray tracing and effects are amazing.
Yeah, I mean that
When you
part
can
is
see the
Thanks.
rain and the just the reflections of the neon
The
on the road with
the
the
reflections
cars.
and actual reflective surfaces.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, oh my god, like the amount of work that's taken to put into games like that when we have some games that you literally cannot see the sky properly.
Well, but
Mhm.
this is kind of the only
But
analogy
but
I can
actually, you know
make.
what? I'm gonna help out with this category. I'm not gonna defend Cyberpunk. So like I have no opposition if we want to remove it.
What were you gonna say, Steph?
Remember how when we were talking about Game of the Year, if remakes count, we're like, no, we're not counting Resident Evil because it's a remake. Remakes don't count.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way I think about art direction is slightly more than just a game looking awesome, because it would just be best art
Mm-hmm.
versus best art direction. And I have not played Cyberpunk nor this DLC, so like I am not speaking from a place where I want to kick it out, but just like when I'm trying to think of this review logically, did the Phantom Liberty do something artistically different than the base game? Because if it did, it should stay in this category. If it's the same as the base game for art direction, I would think it's almost like treating a remake as ineligible for Game of the Year.
See, that's the
the
question,
setting's
because
pretty.
they had to fix the base game to make it even look what it is.
We're not talking about fixing. We're talking
I'm
about the
just
art direction.
saying. That's
I
what I'm
know,
Someone
I
saying.
who
know,
has
but we're not.
played
Yeah,
the
okay,
DLC, it is pretty much the exact same setting as the original game. So, does it add anything new to it? No.
Isn't there a whole new area? Does it look pretty similar?
It's very
Yeah.
similar. It's just a neighborhood in the south side, mostly taking place in a giant stadium.
Okay.
But it still looks exactly what you predict it to be: deserty,
Yeah,
plains,
it's just the
buildings.
graphical overhaul to the game itself.
Mhm.
Okay.
But given that
so-
given that that expansion was a new release for 2023, I think
Mhm.
that's the reason why I got propelled into this category.
Yeah. All right. So Pat, I'm gonna lean on you the most here since you played it.
Mhm.
Do you feel that art direction stands up against 9 other titles on here? Like, would you put it in a top 5 potentially?
Let's see. Compared to some of these other titles, it would probably be one of the 4 that I would get rid of.
Would get rid of?
Would get rid of, yes.
Okay.
I trust I trust Pat's sensibility on that. So I am not in opposition of getting rid of
It
Phantom
is
Liberty.
pretty, it is
Okay.
gorgeous, but as arguments have come and said, it isn't anything new.
Mhm.
It is an expansion that doesn't add anything other than a shiny coat
Mhm.
to the base game.
Okay.
So I would say that it's acceptable to take it off.
Okay. I also vote to take it off. My vote would be because it's an expansion and that it looks pretty similar to when the game released. That would be my opinion, although I haven't played it. But Pat, since you said it looks pretty similar and you have played it,
Yeah,
my vote would be to take it off.
I've also well, I haven't played it, but my roommate's been playing it and I witnessed it, and it looks very impressive. But you know what? I get what everybody's saying, so yeah, I don't oppose removing it.
All right, that's 3. Does anybody want to keep it on?
No.
Make their case to keep it on. Ed, I know you made your case to take it off, so I guess that would leave Steph.
No, I'm good with taking it off.
Okay.
I just didn't want to sound like I was hell bent on it because I never played it. You know, I only want to be, you know.
All right.
Yeah,
So
cool. We take that off, and we're going to add Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora because God,
we are not
damn,
we're
that
we're
game's gorgeous.
we are not adding games as we take games off.
yeah,
Hey,
I was looking
can
at
I
Avatar.
make a controversial statement? I'm pretty sure
Sure.
like, we might get 1-star ratings for this. I am a Legend of Zelda fan. I put that franchise above everything else. That's my disclaimer. However,
We're
if
gonna
we
get
have
we're gonna get 1-star when we come to voting for the Tears of the Kingdom. I can tell you that right now because
Stephanie, we just got 2 new
words.
patrons. Don't
Listen.
shove them away.
if being forced to narrow to 5, okay, so I'm not
Yeah.
just. I actually would think that Tears of the Kingdom would not be in my top 5 here for best art direction because it's been done before
Mhm.
with Breath of the Wild. See, but here's the thing. Personally, I actually like the just general art design of the Zonai better than what's in Breath of the Wild, but that does not equate to the decision of a top 5 for direction. So before anyone kills me and comes for me for it, big fan. I have all the Tears of the Kingdom amiibo. I love it.
Yeah.
But I'm just throwing it out there that I'm willing to cut Tears of the
I-
Kingdom from art
I'm-
direction.
I'm
and
also
I'm
ready to
fine
cut
with that
Tears of-
because it's
Yeah.
something that Nintendo has done. You know,
Mhm.
if it was like if it was something new that Nintendo has done, then yeah, I would be like, oh, they did something different with Tears of the Kingdom. I'll have to argue, but no, yeah,
Ew.
it is clean. It is cleaner. It looks better than Breath of the Wild, but the art style has been done. You know,
Yeah, my consensus on Tears of the Kingdom is it looks like the last game.
Yeah.
Oh,
Pat?
I feel better. I thought I was going to be met with a riot.
I almost didn't put it on this list when I was filling it out initially.
What's up,
I don't
Pat?
think it's gonna win, but again, I think there are other games I would probably take off before Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, well, let's hear that.
So you wanted to stay on for now? Well, I mean, you're
Just
you're
to
voting
possibly
you're
keep
voting
it up
you're
a
voting
spot.
yes to keep.
I'm putting it as a last resort.
All right, I'm going to move it to that 6th spot right
Mhm.
now.
Or
Yeah.
is there any like easy like this definitely is on here because I will die on a hill for Alan Wake 2 for art
Yeah.
direction.
No,
I
Alan Wake stays.
I think
Alan Wake stays.
Yeah.
I think
Okay,
Alan
if-
Wake
I think it's
potentially
Bomb
wins.
Rush that needs to go.
Actually,
because that's
Yeah, I was gonna say
top
Bomb
five.
Rush.
Okay, I never
Yeah.
played it, so I have no
Okay.
feelings on it.
If we were to ask me right now, based off of what's left on this list right now, I would say Chia stays, Cocoon goes, Sea of Stars stays, Tears of the Kingdom goes. We got Mario Wonder, Alan Wake, and Hi-Fi Rush. Yeah,
So wait, what did you say the last Sea of Stars stays?
Sea of Stars stays.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mm,
great.
Tsuchiya
So Tears of the
goes.
Kingdom goes, right? You said?
Yeah.
But I can't say
For
nothing
me.
about Tsuchiya because I haven't played it, or so I can't really.
All right. Let's see. So we would have Hi-Fi Rush, Alan Wake 2, Super Mario Brothers Wonder, Tachia, and Sea of Stars would be the 5.
I
it
think
seems
that's
like.
fine. Yeah.
That's fine.
That's a
Fair.
great list.
Mhm.
Great.
I'm
Good job,
sorry.
everybody.
I'm sorry for me saying that stuff. Vetoed a bunch of people. Like if there's conversations
I
we had in
think-
those other games.
I mean, I think that was great. I think that's awesome.
Mhm.
All right.
Although I'd
Well,
still put Avatar on that
Maybe
list.
we should do it like that. Basically we name the games and then we just go through everybody real fast and they say what leaves or what gets kept.
Okay.
And we see what
All right.
happens.
all right. So
Maybe?
best. We're gonna move on to the next category then. Best remake / re-release. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Anything that got remastered or remade or re-released in some HD form in 2023 is, a remake or a re-release. So our games would be Dead Space, Resident Evil 4, Metroid Prime Remastered, Super Mario RPG, Like a Dragon Ishin, System Shock, Advance Wars 1 and 2, Reboot Camp, Star Ocean, Second Story R, Persona 4 Golden, and Final Fantasy Pixel Remasters Collection.
I think Persona
Holy
needs to
moly.
go because that's support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Final Fantasy needs to go. 'cause
Nope,
that's
no. Final Fantasy is not a port.
I would actually say Final Fantasy stays. The
I'll
Pixel
say it would
Remasters, I
go.
would say they stay.
I would say it would go.
I'm saying it stays. I played
Wait,
it.
Like for a remake for
that game.
Wait,
All
this
right,
is
so hold
this
on,
is
hold on.
from-
Let's go back to Persona 4 real quick. Does anybody have any
Mhm.
opposition of it being deleted?
No
Nope.
opposition.
no.
Great. All right, let's move on to Final Fantasy Pixel Remasters. I
I'm
think
opposed.
they stay. I think they look amazing.
I think that would go because I'm like, even though it was hyped up and everything, they're like very old games, and I don't think a lot of us here
That's
picked it up.
all
and
these are
played
old
it.
games. That's why it's called Best Remaster
yeah,
/ re-release.
I
The
mean,
game,
like
the
who-
game soundtrack has been remastered. The game has added special effects and
Mhm.
little shines to it, and the pixels have been cleaned up. I would consider this one a good one.
Yeah, I think this is one of the better ones on the list in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I would.
Oh,
take it
and
off
also
the-
it has a lot of a good quality of life changes to make the games a little
Easier.
less grindy if you don't want them to be. This
Yeah.
Oh,
time.
well, there you go.
All right, Ed, give us your reason why you think it should be cut. Persuade us.
for Final Fantasy Pixel Remasters.
Yeah.
I just think that there's for this category alone, there's definitely better remasters and re-releases. I will say that. or
Mhm.
pretty much remasters. I think with the Pixel remaster, it's good hype. They should have just made a lot of these physical instead of ordering it, but that's something else. I don't think everybody played all of these games and really was surprised about these games. Like, of course, the one that most people would go to would be Final Fantasy VI. If anyone's really gonna get this collection or anything, it was gonna be like because I never got to play those games and stuff.
Mhm.
Um,
Plus,
I
you can buy
think
them individually
I
too.
right. I think Dead Space looks amazing and plays great. Looks way
Yep.
better than Final Fantasy.
I think Dead
Resident
Space is a
Evil
lock.
Resident Evil 4 does
Mhm.
is amazing. They fixed some things. More people enjoyed a classic like that.
Mhm.
People did get into Star Ocean, but I don't think enough people here at Boss Rush would know
Yeah.
more about it. Advance Wars wanted to reboot camp. Love Wait for it. They did a fantastic job. System Shock, I really can't say anything about that because I mean, System Shock, I think would go, but I think just the Pixel remaster, I think it's definitely too late for them to bring that game out and for people to really to care about all six of those games without just really talking about Final Fantasy VI. Like, even though it came out,
That's fair.
no one really was talking about these Pixel remasters, and plus that stuff could be done on an iPhone or iPad and be made into a collection. Like, I thought
I want to go back to a point you made real quick, Ed. So you actually kind of persuaded me a little bit because I think when people look at this collection, they're, like you said, most people are not looking at this entire collection. They're looking at probably either
You're looking at
one,
nostalgia.
4, or 6, and most
Yep.
likely probably the Super Nintendo games, right?
Yeah.
right.
Most people have not played 2, 3, or 5, and if you had, like, the last time 2 was released was that Final Fantasy Origins collection on Game Boy Advance and PS1, right? And then
Right.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy V came up with the Chrono Trigger that came out on PS1.
Yeah, and
You
then
know,
and then
three
the
got and Final Fantasy 3 got remade for the DS.
yeah, and that, I mean, that would be my thing, is like that was probably most people's main exposure to 3 was the DS version until this came out, right? So I mean, you might have persuaded me. I think just to go back to the other games real quick, I think Dead Space is a lock. I think Resident Evil
Yep.
4 is a lock.
Yep.
I think Metroid Prime Remastered is a lock for
Mhm.
sure. That game looks incredible. I can't believe that game is running on Switch, to be honest, except for the simple fact that Nintendo magic, I guess. I would say System Shock might be a cut just because, has anybody even seen the System Shock remaster?
I say you can
I've
get rid of
I've
System
I've
Shock.
seen it. I've seen it. It looks good, but it doesn't look good enough to, compared to what the original game was. Yeah, it
Mhm.
looks impressive, but I don't think it stands out.
Okay, I'm removing it then. What about, okay, so Ed and LeRon, I'm gonna look at you for Advance Wars.
You know what? As much as I love that fucking game, like it got me all in the feels and everything.
Mhm.
Looking at some of the other you know what? Actually, here, this is what I look at as far as like what gets kept and tossed on this list. Dead Space is a keeper.
Mhm.
Resident Evil's a keeper.
Mhm.
Prime Remaster's a keeper.
Yes.
Like Dragon Ishin, we can toss that, and the reason why I'm saying we can toss that is because nobody in the West has ever seen what this game originally was because it never came to us. It is definitely a remake.
Mhm.
Well, no, I'm sorry, remake or remaster. Pat, what would you say about it?
Which like a dragon are you? Which one?
I think
like
it's
Ishin, the one where the guy was like a drunken swordsman.
okay, so that is a brand new one.
No, it's a
No,
remake.
it's not brand new.
It's a remake.
It is a remake of a game that Sega never released
PS3.
outside of Japan.
What's one of the Yakuza games?
Yeah,
Mhm.
It's
it's a
it takes
remake.
place in
It's
feudal
a
Japan.
Mhm.
Yeah, it takes place in feudal Japan.
It takes place in feudal Japan.
Yes.
That being said,
Okay.
The Final
I
Fantasy
played it,
Remasters
and
collection. Oh, go ahead.
plays it like it's not. It still plays like an older title. It got a little bit of a graphic boost. Honestly, I would probably get rid of it, even though I'm a massive Yakuza fan.
Okay.
I'm a Yakuza fan too, but
Mhm.
Ishin, like, I mean, I don't know. I think the only leg it has to stand on is the fact that it's a remake of a game that no one has ever seen outside of Japan. That I
I
think is the
agree
only
with
leg it
you
has to
there.
stand on. Yeah. Advanced Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp. I say keep, but and there's a giant but here. This was a game. This is a game that, like, despite all the controversy and stuff on and everything, this is a game that technically didn't do that much different from the original games. It's a graphical overhaul. I've been playing, and even though I have not completely finished 1 and 2 Reboot Camp, it is essentially the same game from the Game Boy Advance. It's still the
I
same
will say
games.
beautiful animation though, and movement, beautiful. Like
Yeah. Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
I think Ray 4 did a great job with that.
But you know what the kicker is about that though? The animation makes the game slower. It extends the pacing
Yeah.
of the game.
Real quick,
Yeah.
it sounds like nobody's fighting for Star Ocean. So
No.
I'm gonna
I was about to get to that actually.
Oh, were you?
I feel like Star Ocean actually like takes a seat at the table because the last time anyone's seen Star Ocean Second Story was on PS1. And if you look at it now, there are some things about it. I'm just not a fan of 2.5D games, especially when they use pixel art on top of a 3D background. I'm not a big fan of that. But at the same time, all the stuff they did to that game, like it's basically an overhauled game, with a brand new skin,
What about?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, keep going. I thought you were done. Sorry.
Oh, the last one I had to talk about was Final Fantasy Pixel Remasters, which I think we've all practically decided like we can go ahead and kick this one.
I didn't decide that.
Yeah, Pat's kind of the one that said that should stay. I mean, I think we were all kind of like it should stay, and then Ed kind of convinced us otherwise because of the way people think about Final Fantasy, the old Final Fantasy games.
But are we determining this category based on either its popularity or the way people sought out the games? Or are we going by the quality and difference of what the remaster remake entails? That's different.
It's that part because okay, a lot of people listening, you guys have to bear with us because like a lot of games got nominated, and the majority of us have not reached all these games. Like we haven't played them. We maybe experienced them in some way, form, or fashion. Like for me, for example, like with Cyberpunk, like I watched my roommate play that. I also watched my roommate play like Alan Wake. So I have some skin in the game on that because like I witnessed like the impressive parts of these games and things of that nature.
So if we're going based on the quality of the remake, the things I would say would be Dead Space, Resident Evil. I would take Metroid out because that is just a graphical upgrade in quality.
They fixed a lot of the controls though,
not
man.
really, because they changed the controller of Master Prime. And if you look at the old version of Metroid Prime versus the remaster, you can see a lot of difference that that they all
There's
did
also
for that game.
There's also some downgrades though, because I heard like that the fast shot thing wasn't the same like it was in the GameCube.
All right, in terms of all the things they've upgraded in in Metroid, I feel like then if we're talking about the updates, Star Ocean and Final Fantasy updated more to their games than Metroid did.
One game none of us have talked about real quick is Super Mario RPG.
I was thinking about that. I never played the original, but
so I think I would keep that. I would definitely keep it.
Stephanie is talking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I am feeling feeling positive on Super Mario RPG. While I've played the remake but not the original, I've heard that they were able to make a lot of amazing changes. I could correct me if I'm wrong for those that have played the original. So I feel like that's a
No, you're correct. They made
made
a lot of changes.
You're spot on. Like the combat systems evolved and updated. Like the soundtrack, like you have options on soundtracks and stuff like that. What else? What else?
Graphic polish.
The only thing that hurts that game is we're in the year 2023 and there's no voice dialogue for these characters.
It's a Nintendo game.
That's the only thing.
It's a Super Nintendo game.
Have you heard of Nintendo?
Right. If you want voice, go play. If you want some good voice acting from Nintendo, go play Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and go get your life. Go get gathered.
Wait, what now? What?
Xenoblade Chronicles 3. If you want some real good voice acting, go get that game.
I'm just saying it's a modern game that was a remake, and we are reading in video games. Just think about that.
Yeah. Well.
That's more
I
money
vote
for
for
Nick.
Mario RPG to stay.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
vote
too.
for it to
Me
stay.
too.
Well, I skipped Mario RPG on purpose because like that was an obvious vote for me.
All right.
Come
We
on,
gotta-
besides Advance Wars, like the only Nintendo game I was looking forward to this year was Mario RPG.
All right. So Like a Dragon Ishin, keep
That can go.
or go.
It can go.
Okay,
go.
go. Okay.
To the rest of the competition, it can go.
All right. Why is it on here twice? All right. So Metroid Prime Remaster, I vote stay.
I'm also voting to stay on that one.
Stay.
I can keep it. Yeah, I'm fine with it staying.
Okay. So sorry, Pat, we're keeping it.
All right, go ahead.
So we gotta pick. We need one more, and then this category's done.
Out of the 3 that are left, Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp, Star Ocean Second Story Art, and Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster, I'd say Star Ocean gets a seat at the table.
I say Star Ocean does too because it has more of a remake than a remaster.
Yeah, I'll give it to that.
Okay.
Have fun with that.
Star Ocean. Wow.
I am so sorry,
let's see.
Advance Wars. I'll be playing some more of you tonight before I go to bed.
Wow.
I definitely
Okay.
would say Advanced Wars goes definitely in the sim category, sim strategy.
Do we have a sim strategy category?
Yes.
We do.
Towards
Okay.
the bottom.
Okay.
All right. We have our 5 for best remake / remaster, and
I love how like all those boxes are just blacked out.
I know. The first four games are totally LeRon games. This is LeRon's category. Dead Space, Resident Evil 4 remake, Super Mario RPG, Metroid Prime Remastered, and Star Ocean.
I'm telling you,
Story
the way they
Arc.
stealth dropped Metroid Prime Remastered, like you guys saw.
I
We
know.
were in the middle of recording a Boss Rush podcast, and I was like, "Wait, what?" And I got on my Switch and bought that game while we were recording a podcast.
LeRon's high pitched squeal, man, that was hilarious. It was the best part.
I didn't know it was
I was like,
happening.
Metroid?
You know?
Yeah.
I was
All
like,
right.
Metroid Prime? Yeah, let's go.
All right. So best expansion / DLC. This was one I was considering cutting, just because I didn't play almost any DLC this year, and I don't know if anybody else played a lot of this DLC.
Played a few
That's
of
Mario
these.
Kart 8. That's the only one.
Yeah, that was
Everything
like
else-
really the only one that I played, and Lightfall for Destiny. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete Lightfall because that expansion was not very good. The subsequent seasons to the expansion were amazing, especially the one now that's going on now, as of this recording. But the expansion itself is not very good. So I'm gonna go ahead and bomb that out.
I'll tell
Did
you what
anyone
is
play
good.
Remnant or Sea of Thieves?
So I have
No.
Remnant 2, but I haven't even got to the DLC. I'm
Yeah, I
still
haven't
just
played the
like
DLC.
I
in the
think
intro
that
to
should
that
go
game.
then.
Turn to Castlevania, Dead Cells. Great.
Oh, that definitely stays.
Yeah, I calculated that would stay. I'm gonna put that in first position.
A lot of people
and
love
Separate
that.
Ways. Separate Ways.
Separate Ways
for-
stays. Burning Shores stays. Phantom Liberty stays.
What's-
Whoa. We're not gonna
What's
get this
Burning-
category. We're not gonna get this category knocked down. There's like you guys have mentioned like 6 games that have to stay.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
What's-
say
I don't think we should get rid of the category.
What-
I'm removing Sea of Thieves because I don't think anybody played the Monkey Island DLC.
Mhm.
I'm
Was
going
Burning
to
Shores?
I'm going to remove
PS5?
Disney Dreamlight Valley Rift in Time because that expansion is just more Dreamlight Valley on a different island. Not worth keeping. All right, so
Has anyone played the Cult of Land DLC?
I
I haven't even
never-
played the game
I
yet.
haven't played Cult of Land.
Yeah, I haven't
You
played
should
the game
probably
either.
get rid of that one then.
Okay. I vote Mario Kart's DLC stays. After Wave 2, that DLC was really great.
I'm fine with that.
We have
What?
5.
Dead
Did we?
Cells,
Yeah,
Horizon.
we have 5. We have 5. I don't
Cyberpunk,
really need to
Mario
think
Kart.
about what we got.
Yeah,
Okay, well,
that's
that was
fine.
easy.
We don't have to argue this one. We have 5.
Yay.
I was all prepared.
That's why I went through and like, did we play this? No, get rid of it. This one, no, get rid of it.
Well, that was
Because I mean, like, if you leave a vote for me to eliminate something, it's gonna be the Mario Kart 8 stuff. Because like, I hate Mario Kart.
well, that's
That
a
does-
you problem.
Right.
I know. As a matter of fact, hold on. We should go ahead and establish this now. Leave all your biases away from this conversation.
Yes.
Leave
Says
all your
what?
if you so like I swear to God, if you hate Grand Theft Auto for some goddamn reason, you better
Why
not
you-
speak about why Grand Theft Auto game needs to be eliminated.
Hey,
It was an example. He didn't say he was talking about you.
what?
Why you get all defensive?
It's
All
LeRon.
right,
That
here.
doesn't mean.
Okay, so this category, best indie game, is really important because this was obviously a huge kerfuffle during the Game Awards, in that technically only one indie game was nominated and it won. Congratulations, it won. But
Okay, so
the
we need to
major
define this.
point is that the studio publishes its own game.
Okay.
There are a couple exceptions of, so we had some Humble Onion on the Boss Rush podcast this year. That game found a small independent entity to help publish the game, right?
Okay.
It wasn't Team 17, it wasn't Annapurna, it was a German entity. I forget what the company's name was.
Studios.
Unai.
Yeah.
Yep.
I feel
Stephanie
like
knows what that means, right?
I feel like
Wink, wink.
I don't know how to give that a definition that is different than a game published by Devolver or Annapurna, except
Call
for
it
the
a
fact
small
that
dev.
those are heavily funded publishers and have other divisions that, like Annapurna has a whole film division that kind of kickstarted their whole game publishing thing, and now that it's a huge thing, right?
I mean, I would consider Annapurna as third party now because of how many.
All right,
games
so
they got.
Yeah.
All right, so hang on a second. Hang on a second, because
Mhm.
we really need to define this, because we don't want to mess around
Mhm.
and wind up in the same footing as other people were.
Yes.
Now, normally it's what outstanding creative and technical achievement in a game made outside the traditional publisher system. We kind of know that technically is way too loose of a definition right there. All right,
I would say like a small developer also, because technically CD Projekt Red is independent, right?
But they also have a staff. They're also like the biggest developer in the entire.
Yeah, and
Europe.
plus they do.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. It's like that. I don't think CD Projekt counts because of that, right? I mean, technically Valve is independent, right? I don't want any of that either.
I mean,
So,
CD Projekt has produced 2 licensed games. Like The Witcher and Cyberpunk are not actually games originally created by.
well, the license doesn't matter because
But for
Motion Twin did the Castlevania DLC, and that's technically they licensed that
from Konami,
right.
yeah, but that's like DLC, and that doesn't fit into this category.
I'm talking strictly about studio size and their game.
Okay, help me out here. Games that have exhibited outstanding creative and technical achievements made by.
Stephanie's raising her hand.
Stephanie's
waiting for LeRon to finish.
Made by I didn't have anything else to add to that.
You can say major publishers. You can say major publishers.
Well, here's the thing.
I
am an author, okay? And I consider myself indie. I write my own book. I don't have a ghostwriter. I didn't self-publish, though. I have a publisher. Does that make me no longer indie? Because my publisher is literally run by one guy, and he had his mom help him edit. So he's a publisher, but he's a really, really small. My books don't really get sold because it's that small.
But yours is still indie. I think you're still an indie one. Yeah, I think you still.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're still. I would say
have
that
a publisher in a book industry, you almost can't get your book out.
You can't get your book out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you can self-publish and go that route. But the point I'm trying to make is, we need to word it where, I think having a publisher as a game dev doesn't necessarily disqualify you as indie. Just if we're looking from my perspective. But
I mean, do we want to go the route of, did they start development before they found a publisher?
I mean, a lot of indie developers do that.
I know, but I'm saying
ultimately for the listeners out there, what we're trying to do is actually say the game looks like, we're not trying to say the game looks like an indie, so it should be in this category, because major publishers make games that basically use 8 and 16-bit sprites, and
that's
they
all
look
Atari's
like
doing these days. So
yeah, exactly. So we're just trying to eliminate that conversation, because if we don't eliminate that conversation, then you will see major publishers like Microsoft up in this bitch.
Right, because Nintendo would have been when Good Job came out, that was an indie game, but Nintendo published it. Well, it would got disqualified because the publisher was Nintendo, even though the developer was indie.
Yeah, I mean,
Which now that we think about it, a few years ago, Kena Bridge of Spirits would have actually been knocked off this list.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wait, who published Kana?
Sony.
That was backed by Sony money.
That was backed by Sony. Death Stranding was backed by Sony. So Death Stranding would have been knocked off this list.
Oh, that
Yeah,
would have.
that's
That
the
would
type.
have.
That's the type of thing I'm saying, right? Is like we can't count that type of studio as an indie.
Okay. Well, actually, if we go back to Death Stranding, Kojima Productions, and we go back to Ember Lab, which was Kena Bridge of Spirits, we can say that they were brand new studios.
Mhm.
They were brand new studios, and they were not, and they had backing of these companies, but at the same time, they're not under the flag of Sony like Bungie is.
Yeah. I
they're
would
not
say
under the,
just for an example, real quick, LeRon, just to throw this out here, I would say the game. There are 10 nominations on here, and
Oh,
somebody nominated Alien Dark Descent on the best indie list.
Yes.
It was published by Focus Entertainment, and it's a licensed
Mhm.
Alien game.
Yeah.
I would say
definitely
that
take that
is
off.
instantly
that's off the list. Yeah.
off the
Ugh.
list.
All right. So
Sorry,
we just
David.
need to finish this definition. That's all. So games who have exhibited outstanding creative and technical achievement made by, well, I know studios is the next word, but what are we saying after that?
I'm fine with major publishers, like well-known publishers. I'm fine with that one because that's what you said earlier, LeRon.
You
Outside
have
of
to
major
say the
publishers.
game is published by the developer, or how do we say a small
Just
publisher?
say
or
a
they're
small-
not. They're not financially like they're
Made
not.
by made
Like-
by small or self-published studios. There we go.
Self-financed studios.
Self-financed
Mhm.
studios.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
All
Great.
right,
That's a
so-
great definition. Good job, everybody.
Yes.
Look at that.
Yeah,
So
let's
here we
just-
go. Here
Well,
we go.
then Sea of Stars doesn't count.
Why?
Why?
They self-finance.
Didn't
and
they do
publish.
Kickstarter though?
That is self.
Kickstarter is completely different. Crowdfunding
Yes.
games, we will keep this in there.
We're talking about
Okay.
a studio coming in and funding the game for them.
When you
Right.
said
Like the
self-funding,
the way that Microsoft came in and funded Cuphead, right? Or
Hey,
right?
hey Ed,
when- I'm just saying-
Boss Rush Network is crowdfunded technically because we have a
Yeah.
Patreon.
yeah,
Right, but when you said self-funding and Sea of Stars was on there, that's why I
Well,
said that because
they-
I thought they did Kickstarter.
I would count Kickstarter or Patreon as self-funding, in my opinion.
because they're
Because
raising money themselves.
yes, because they are fundraising themselves. They are not going to a publisher to ask for money. They are going to the audience and their fans to ask them to trust in their ability to create games and asking for money in
But
advance.
just want the clarity
I-
to be on there
Mhm.
Yep.
to make sure.
Okay.
Yes.
So here's the official definition for everybody out there listening to us. Games who have exhibited outstanding creative and technical achievement made by a small or self-financed studio, or made by small or self-financed studios.
Okay.
I
There we
would
go.
actually take or out of there.
Okay, so make it small
Self-financed studios.
Okay, we got it.
Yep.
Here we go.
All right. So
All right, now let's really fight.
okay, so there's 9 games on this list now. Sea of Stars, I think, stays.
Mhm.
Yep.
Ravenlock, in my opinion, stays. I think this game was
I haven't even heard of this game. What is this?
it's a Zelda-esque kind of voxel
Adventure game?
adventure game set in the Alice in Wonderland universe.
Mhm.
I loved this game.
Okay.
Now I will fight for it later, but I just wanted to voice my opinion now that I would like it to stay. Not married to it, but I really loved that game.
Okay.
Goodbye Volcano High from Co-op.
Has anyone played that one?
No.
I have
have-
not.
I have not.
It's
Okay.
on my list though to play. But I
Maybe
heard
we
it
should get
wasn't
rid of
that
then.
all
Okay.
good.
We also
Yeah.
have to consider maybe our audience have played these games just to not that we're married to that.
Well,
conversation.
we have something special for that.
Venba, I actually just played that game this weekend and completed it.
Mhm.
I don't know if it stands up to the rest of these. This would be like maybe like a 6
So you know what? I would keep Vimba because I think it presents good representation and something different in games. Like
Mhm.
being able to experience Indian culture through the story that is told. We don't get that, and so
Yeah.
from a representation wise for a gaming for an indie, I think that's good because we need more games coming from like that tells these kind of stories and stuff. So I
Mhm.
think Vimba is a good representation to be in this
Ooh,
category.
Okay.
here comes
Mhm.
devil's advocate right here.
Uh-oh.
How does this I know because Chia's indie.
It's
It was
it's
published by
not
Sony, but
it's not. Kepler published it and financed partially financed it.
Kepler is responsible for who?
Kepler Interactive Chia.
Yeah,
They
yeah. What else? You said it's not right.
they're like a B tier, kind of like Team 17, I would say,
Okay.
that size.
Mhm.
The only thing
Because I
I'll
feel
say
like
about
Venba can duke it out in the innovation category.
I was gonna say, like, I love Venba and I would like to see it here, but if it doesn't, the category it matters most to me is games for impact or
Mhm.
whatever.
Impact. There we go.
Yeah.
I said innovation. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Impact.
That's all right. So
And
as long as it makes that, like,
yeah.
I'm more
like it.
inclined to take it off. But for me, it was just the game was too short. It did not build itself up fast enough to.
I
It
agree. I
should've-
think it could have done more. But
I
LeRon,
just did.
just to give
Mhm.
you an idea of Kepler, so
Mhm.
they also publish Sifu, Scorn, Cat Quest, the Cat Quest series. Their
Yeah.
upcoming game Flintlock is coming to Game Pass
Okay.
next year, and then a new game
Okay.
they are developing publishing called Pacific Drive, which is like a 3D.
So why did Sony put them on the Indie initiative then?
Because this is the conversation we had during the Boss Rush podcast. Indie is a marketing term for smaller games to get hype
Yeah.
hype for smaller games, even if they're not
It had a
totally
small
independent.
developer, but it was backed by big money.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that it came to PlayStation first then.
What?
Yeah.
Chia? It's only on
Yeah.
PlayStation.
It's only on
and
PlayStation.
PC, I guess.
Oh.
But
Then that's probably why.
Mhm.
all right, so Venba we can kind of put in that maybe category. What about Bomb Rush Cyberpunk?
No, I
I'd say
would
that's a
take that
keeper.
off.
Why do you say take it off, Ed?
So nothing against the game. It looks really beautiful. They got great music. I think it's too close to Jet Set Radio. It's too much of a homage to Jet Set Radio, and everything. So
Yeah, but that to me that argument is Sea of Stars is too close to Chrono Trigger.
that is true.
Not gonna lie, there's gonna be 2 games coming up that Stephanie and I are gonna be fighting tooth and nail for. So
What's
just to
that?
give you a heads up.
Slay the Princess and Smooshy?
No.
Oh.
Slay the Princess, yes, but I'm gonna fight tooth and nail for a space for the Unbound.
Ooh, that's gonna be
yeah.
a tricky one. It's got
He's
to be
gonna
a
fight.
Yeah.
different publisher.
It's Toads.
right.
They have less than 30 people on their team.
I'm voting to keep Bomber Cyberpunk because I feel like if Bomber Cyberpunk didn't enter the conversation, Sega would have just sat on their ass about Jet Set Radio.
Well, Sega needed something, needed some money, so
Man, who's excited for
They
Jet
could-
Set Radio comeback?
they could have way did this.
Because nobody's buying Sonic the Hedgehog anymore, so
Uh,
Sega had to do something.
So wait,
Sonic
what was
sold-
what were the games you said you were fighting for, Pat?
Slay the Princess is gonna be one that's gonna be fought to stay.
I would agree with you. I didn't play it, right?
That
But
game
I
has
think
gotten phenomenal reviews just because of the
I've
choice.
seen
It's
the
all
reviews on the
hand
game.
drawn.
yeah.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna move
It
that into
is
this
all-
3 spot. For now. I mean, obviously these spots aren't what we 100% think. But all right. So
I don't know anything about Book of Hours.
I don't
I
gotta
don't
either.
know
say.
what that is.
I don't either. So I guess we're gonna remove it.
There you go.
All right. So we have Space for the Unbound. Pat, sell us on it.
Well, I might be okay if we just keep it in the games for impact, but this game is in my top 3 of the year, and it was it was an Indonesian developed game about a coming to life story taking place in the 90s Indonesia, and it also this girl has also the powers that are going to be ending the world as well. And it's
Neat.
actually a very beautiful story about grief and depression
Mm-hmm.
and just coming to, like I said, a slice of life. It's growing up,
Was this a 2D
and
game?
it was a 2D game, 2D pixel art,
That
back
went
and
like
forth.
left to right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I didn't
this
finish it
game's
yet, but yeah, it's great. It's beautiful. It's nice to look at, nice, pleasant to listen to. There's a lot of wonderful things about it too.
hmm
I think it was in the net. Was it in the Indie Direct? Indie World?
it was.
Okay.
Yeah, it did really well on the Switch. In fact, I think that no, I think it's out on other stuff now, but
Yeah, it's out on other stuff. I think I just remember seeing it on Indie World.
hmm but like I said, I would be okay, but I will fight tooth and nail to keep that in Impact.
Yeah, I mean we can keep that in Impact for sure. So it
Because
looks like
that
we
game ending lands.
all right. It looks like we
Just-
have it looks like we only have 2 locks right now.
Right.
So we need to
Yeah.
start kind of moving other things up.
You I'm fine putting a Smushy Come Home and
I
Bomb Rush Cyber Fun. I'm fine with that.
I would agree Smooshy stays,
hmm
and not just
I
because
love
we had
Smooshy.
them on the had some Humble Onion on the show. I think that game is genuinely interesting, and
I still
the
think Vimba
fact
should
that
stay too.
he initially made that all by himself, aside from maybe a couple other things, like really impressive for one person. So uh I I'm still gonna fight for Ravenlock. I think that game is beautiful. I think the story is super, like, it's just deep enough to make you feel something, but also loose enough to where you are having fun while playing the game, and it's not some deep heavy game like every indie game seemingly wants to be at times, right? Like
Mhm.
I think I I really love Ravenlock. like um so I will fight for that. Um let's see. We need to eliminate what, 2 games, I guess? Or yeah, we need to
Out of
eliminate
the
2
four,
games.
there's two that still need to be
So it
eliminated.
would be between Bomber Cyberpunk, Ravenlock, A Space for the Unbound, and Venba. Anybody feel
That
I'll
one
help
not
you out.
Venba.
I'll help you guys out. We can go ahead and knock out Bomber Cyberpunk.
are you sure?
I'm sure. I love that game. I got day one when it came
I mean,
out.
I
I
was
love
gonna,
it, but I played it completely for the nostalgia effect of being Jet Set Radio. Even though like the music composer is the guy who did the soundtrack for Jet Set Radio.
Yeah.
okay.
Mhm.
If you're sure.
This helps out because I mean honestly, like y'all are gonna battle over Ravenlock, Space for an Unbound, and
Because I
oh
would
Vimba. I missed a
That
few
was Slay
things.
the Princess.
It's
Slay
in
the
the
Slay
Princess. I'm
membership
sorry.
Princess
slot.
kept.
Yeah.
It's a lock.
Oh,
Um
We
so
locked that one for your stuff.
all right. So between Ravenlock, Space for the Unbound, and Venba, we need to cut one of those.
I say then Venba. Then seems like everyone's not as high on it, and I care about it more being on Impact. So
And I mean I care about it for the representation for indies. You
I
know.
Uh,
I didn't play Space for the Unbound, but I can tell you that Venba, though the story was touching, it was heartfelt, and it was kind of relatable, but I don't think it expanded enough on that. I wish it was maybe 2 or 3 chapters longer, and maybe it would have been a
Yeah.
lock for me.
That's been one of the criticisms
mhm.
in the story. Like
Mhm.
they wish they wanted to go. But
Yeah.
I'm like, just like what the description says, self finance, and
Yeah.
that's happened with time
I
and management.
I
Some things
yeah.
got to be
Mhm.
cut like that.
And I
Yeah.
I totally understand that, and I again, I really liked the game. I wish there was more of it to expand on the story that they were telling, because I think the story would have benefited from at least 2 more chapters.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Uh, because there's like a whole section of that story, not to spoil anything for people who haven't played it, but they like skip this whole section, like this whole section of the kid's life that would have been very impactful to like
Kid
tell us a
basically
little
went
bit.
from teenager to
Yeah.
like
Adult.
young adult.
Yeah. So like what about his college years, or what about his, the years where like somebody typically goes to college, right? The
Mhm.
early 20s area. So
That's
that would
Viva's
be my
DLC.
that would be my vote, because I know a lot of people love A Space for the Unbound.
I'm fine with it being cut then.
Okay, so that's what, 4 cuts? And
Yeah,
LeRon.
Ravenlock and Space are the winners.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes. Got one.
I also remember the talking to the game's creator at PAX and listening to his struggles and trying to get his game out. Like
Oh, for
there
the
were some
space.
there he like I think went through 2 other he tried twice to get that game out and no one was taking it, and he
Oh, for
somehow
space.
managed to get lucky on his 3rd try.
For
You
space
know,
for
out
the
of all the
Unbound.
games, out of all the games that are on the list, like I only played 2 of them, so I think I did very well by eliminating one game that I kind of had like a leaning on.
I'm shocked you didn't fight for it stronger, because I actually kind of thought that would be a neat ad, but you know. All right.
I did too. I did too, but honestly, I feel like what kind of hurts me a lot is that like I didn't play a lot of the games that are already on this massive spreadsheet of ours and stuff like that. So like it's unfair for me to come at some other games, Mario Kart 8 Booster, and then fight like really hard for like a game that I only played 40% of the way.
Yeah. All right, our next category, best bad guy. I don't really have a horse in this fight, but I think the
It
I
does, but you have the
think this
witness.
is self-explanatory. It can be a villain, but it doesn't have to be the big villain, but basically the antagonist or villain of the games. So I put the Witness on here from Destiny. The Witness really hasn't done anything yet. It's just a really cool story and a really cool setup. Maybe this makes the list next year. I'm not sure. The only other Destiny villain would have been Callus, and Callus kind of sucks. So I'm going to eliminate the Witness. So that would leave 9.
You could take Lewis from Pikmin 4. Like
Okay.
him as a villain. It's just the game is just so cute and fun. You don't even think about villains in that game. So yeah,
But he was
fine
an
taking that.
asshole.
Let's see. So 1, 2. So we have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 villains on here. I would say Ganon. I would say Tears of the Kingdom's Ganondorf is a lock.
I say
Yeah.
Ganondorf is a lock. I want at least Annabella Rossfield as a lock
From Final
because
Fantasy.
she was a bitch that you just absolutely hated. due
Was
to
she
her
the first
antics.
boss in the game?
You don't actually ever
Or-
fight her.
Okay.
But she's basically through her need to keep the bloodline pure, and
Oh.
her actions cause a hell of a lot of genocide
Yeah.
in the
Because I
game.
remember the intro or the demo intro, it was that woman, I guess you find on the castle and it's like lightning and stuff. And she was just like evil. I'm
You
just
might
like, oh,
be
She's a see you next Tuesday, and that's what she is.
Ooh. That's a adult word. Did anybody play Lies of P?
I have.
I did. I have not gotten far enough to say if Simon's a good villain or not.
Should we?
I've only seen him very briefly in the game.
Should we eliminate that then? That villain.
I'd be okay with that.
LeRon, you're on mute.
Sweet, I was muted in 2 places. I haven't played enough with Lies of P to have any real skin in this game. I did nominate Simon Madness and Laxasia because like I've seen some of the playthroughs, the Let's Plays, and like wow, they're some wily villains.
Yeah, I heard the fights are good, but it's in terms of their actual villainous quality, I have no clue
Yeah.
Okay.
like how evil they are.
All right. Well, we'll keep them as a maybe then. the Dark Presence / Scratch from Alan Wake. I'm assuming that's from Alan Wake.
Uh,
Is that
Yeah.
a keep for you guys?
I can live with or without it because I like Mr. Scratch, but if I am again thinking objectively speaking, I can see how it might not be like a top villain just because it's more of a abstract entity that
Is this the
is
same
supposed to.
Mr. Scratch from American Nightmare?
No,
yeah,
different. That's
he got killed.
He's
He got killed, but they brought him back for this version
American
for Alan
Nightmare
Wake 2.
technically does not exist.
Yeah, American
in
Nightmare
the Alan
technically
Wake
not canon.
universe.
Yeah,
This Mr. Scratch / Dark Presence is basically Vanity emboldened.
vanity and ego.
Yeah, it's basic. Like, yes, it doesn't really have a physical presence, but at the same time, like, it's bad because it just wants to destroy. It just wants to consume. It takes everything that Alan Wake and absolutely wants to destroy it because it's jealous of Alan Wake.
it was
You
just
know, it
confusing.
wants to be Alan Wake and be loved and desired by all people. And
Well, all that being said, I'm good with it going.
I mean, I will say when he was in not to spoil anything really, but the jail cell part when you get to meet him, I should say that was a really good setup of people getting to know who Mr. Scratch is.
yeah, although I like the American Nightmare Scratch so much better. But yeah, this one's pure rage.
Okay, well, I'll put that as a maybe then too. Ed, I think you and I are the only ones that put Hi-Fi Rush villains on here. I really liked Rekka, but I think Corsica might make more sense
Yeah,
if we were to keep one.
she's a good first boss, I will say, or second boss, I should say.
Yeah.
She's really good. And Rekka, even though she is a great boss to fight, she becomes part of the party and stuff. So I will.
Yeah.
If you want to take Rekka off, that's fine, and keep
Yeah.
Corsica. I'm good with that.
Yeah. I went ahead and did that. So the last one would be Venom from Spider-Man 2. I actually thought Venom was pretty weak, in my opinion.
He was kind of weak.
How was Venom compared to Craven?
Craven was
Craven
scary,
also
but I also
was-
thought the Craven story was weak too.
Yeah,
Ask the guy who has yet to start Spider-Man 2, but it's
Could
in
we
his
nom-
library.
Could we
Craven,
nominate the FTC?
I think Craven was a better villain technically in Spider-Man 2. Not to spoil anything, but I thought that's the story surrounding him could have used more, to be honest.
Well, there's something special about Venom because he's getting his own game
I thought
from
that was just-
Insomniac. Well, if the leaks are anything to be
Yeah.
believed,
Yeah.
Well, it can't be the same Venom.
Wow.
Got the spoilers. But
Could we nominate the completionist for his
I
his
would-
mess?
no.
So I would actually take Venom off this list. I mean, we could replace it with Craven, but I don't think Craven's much more interesting than.
well, it
Mr.
looks
Scratch.
like we have our reason to keep Mr. Scratch then.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Well, there's the list then. I think, right? Is that the list?
Yep, that's 5.
What's
Wow,
the list?
I felt like we would be fighting a lot more. I felt like we would be putting curses on like generations of Derek's, Klein's, Klimov's, and Varnell's because like nobody's touching my clan.
Well, we're still early on.
Yeah. All right. So best new piece of hardware. We have 5 entries. I don't know if we want to discuss them at all. So
Wait, we have exactly 5?
yeah,
We have
we
5.
have
Let's keep it.
the ROG Ally, the Steam Deck OLED, the PlayStation Portal, the Lenovo Go, and then the PlayStation VR 2.
Yeah, that's fine.
I can kind of tell looking at this list what's not going to win.
Well,
But we will save that.
I would say
That's
I would say it's between the Ally, the Deck OLED, and then the Portal would be what it's probably between.
Yeah,
But we're
PS
gonna have 5 anyway, so
yeah.
Have you read
PSVR
the
2.
reviews? Have you read the reviews in the Portal?
I
haven't.
have, but I've
What's it
also
say?
heard a lot of anecdotal evidence that people like of users, like real users. And it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, even in Stephanie's case, right? I mean, not just Stephanie, but Stephanie, for example.
If you use the
Oh, I was
Portal
gonna
the
say,
way
was-
it was designed to be used, it's a good system. just
I
don't
mean,
Yeah,
knock
but
down
when
your
you
house.
but when you lump it with like the three other competitors in that same field, it leaves a lot to be desired.
it's now just becoming very
Actually,
popular.
okay,
A
you
lot
know
of
what?
people,
I think within our audience, the Portal might be more favored than the other two, just because we don't have a lot of PC gamers in our audience
Mhm.
at this point.
and I'm seeing the PlayStation Portable, like people posting it and saying how they're enjoying it now.
Yeah,
I think more people got it for Christmas and stuff, and a lot of people just like taking it on travel, connecting on Wi-Fi, and they saying they're having a time with it. They're like really
Wait,
enjoying it.
what?
So.
Yeah.
I thought you could only be on the same Wi-Fi.
as long as you're connected to the internet and your PlayStation is on, you can play it anywhere.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But don't
PlayStation is
expect it to
on,
work
like
very well.
Mhm.
on or in
Mhm.
standby mode.
Like on.
Like
Yeah.
what? But your PlayStation can actually no. My PlayStation's always in rest mode, right? So
Mhm.
what I do is I just press the on button of my Portal, and it'll wake up my PlayStation. So it's not like I need to go to my
That's
PlayStation and
that's
turn
what
it
I was
on.
talking about. Like that's what I was talking about. Like, does it have to be on, like physically on, or is it
Rest
just in
mode.
standby, or it can be rest mode?
Rest mode.
Rest mode.
Okay,
Well,
okay.
ultimately,
Don't
with this
don't confuse me, because
category,
I was like, because like who's gonna like burn up their who's gonna risk letting their liquid metal like burn up? Like keeping the thing on all the time.
What are you saying, Steph?
oh no, it's just this category is more of which has the best specs or which serves its purpose the most. Because I would think the latter makes most sense.
I think this is just the best new piece of hardware, and I think this just comes up to a preference of your use. Like if you're a PC gamer and want to take your games on the go, you're obviously going to have a deck or an ally. And if you're a PlayStation gamer and you want to play while watching football or cartoons or whatever, like the port, like it's just what makes sense for its use case. And I think the Portal has a
It'll be
place there, even though
it'll be interesting, because I mean, like with all the limitations of the Portal, like you have to have proprietary like earbuds for this thing. You have to have there's two things
no,
proprietary you
you
have to
can
have
have
with that
wired.
thing.
You can use any wired, I think,
Yeah,
but
I
I
love
think
my
it's I think it's
Portal. I just don't like the battery life. That's my one
oh,
sentence.
all these things up here have shit battery.
yeah.
Yeah.
All
Good luck
these
on.
things up here,
Good luck with
like,
that.
All right.
including the PSVR 2. Like all of them have shit battery.
Yeah. All right.
How bad is the PSVR
let's
2 battery
let's
wise?
let's
Fine.
move on to Studio of the Year.
Okay.
So
I'm
Studio
going to
of the Year.
exclude myself from this category.
Okay, bye.
You can't excuse
That was
yourself
mean.
from this category, because like we need the 5 people panel to like keep things consistent.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Okay,
I
so
think I'm too
right now,
biased on this one. So that's
Studio
why.
Studio of the Year. So we need a definition for this, right? This is not a publisher. This is not, okay, so SIE, right? It's not Sony. It would be Insomniac, right? I don't know how to define this,
Yeah.
but or could be an independent studio like Larian or Sabotage, right? It could be, or somebody that's not owned by someone. It could be a second party studio, but it is not someone like Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, Valve, publisher. Like a publisher. This would be the studios that are actually developing the games. So
Yeah, that's why I'm excluding myself from this one.
I would. So our nominations right now are Larian, Sabotage, Remedy, Insomniac, Neowitz Games Round 8 Studio, which is the developer of Lies of P. We have Motive, who did the Dead Space remake. We have CD Projekt Red for Phantom Liberty.
You forgot Ryu Gotoku.
Rio go to go.
RGG.
I'm getting there.
RRG. RGG.
I know I skipped it. I didn't mean to. It just happened when I scrolled. Is there any other studio that we feel like should be on this list before we start?
Yeah, because we have 2 empty slots.
If you do, speak now or forever hold your peace. I would say Tango Gameworks deserves to be on here, at least
That's a good one. That's a good one.
consideration, at least, because they technically did release a game and updates and expansion for Tokyo or Ghostwire Tokyo.
Yeah, really good game.
Square had a good year. Final Fantasy, Octopath.
Well,
Were they
that's
all
their
were they
their
all by the same? Were they
publisher,
all by
though.
the same studio?
Yeah. Business Unit 13
Because 16, because
Business
16
Unit
was
3.
Yeah,
yeah,
creative
Business Unit 3
business.
was 16.
Yeah.
Yeah, Creative Business Unit 3 had a good year with Final Fantasy 16, and then
The Octopaths was what are they called? A Sobo?
I think so.
Asobo is the studio that did Plague Tale and Flight Sim.
No, not Sobo. It begins with an A. I'll look it up here quick.
I'm gonna put.
I agree with
Creative
Tango GameWorks getting added onto this though. I agree with that. I can't think of
I would say
I
Creative
can't think of
Business
another.
Unit 3 from Square. Doing
Okay,
doing games.
CBU 3. Okay. All right, now we have 10 on there. It's time to start knocking these bastards out.
Yep.
Mhm.
All right, locks. I would say Larian is a lock.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I would
It's
say
acquired. That's Octopath's
Who?
creator.
Acquired studio.
Acquired.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I would. Do we want to add them to this list?
I mean, that's
Give
not,
us more of a head. Okay, well, if we're gonna add them,
I
to
would
that,
put it there
if
just
we're
to
gonna,
put that,
if we're
but
gonna,
honestly, I
wouldn't.
yeah.
I was about to say,
Okay.
if we're gonna add them to the list,
Okay.
then we should drop Ryu Gochiko.
No. We're keeping
so-
Ryu to go there.
I would say they're a lock too. To be honest, they released 3 games this year? Technically, well, 2 remakes and a something.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like a Dragon, Ishan, and the
The man who erased his name.
The man who erased his name, and what was the other name?
Wasn't there another Yakuza?
Ishin.
Who?
I think they only did 2.
Okay.
They did
Well,
2.
they still released 2 games this year. It's pretty.
Yeah.
I think they're a lock. So okay, so Larian, Sabotage, Remedy, Insomniac. Why am I naming these all again? Okay, so Larian's a lock. Ryu, go to
Gotoko.
Yep, them. They are a lock in my opinion. I would say Remedy is a lock.
The first 4 are locked.
The first 4?
Wait, the first 4: Larian, Sabotage, Remedy, and Insomniac.
I think those 4 are all locked.
As a person whose show was primarily a PlayStation show, I think Insomniac was left a little lacking. Based on the general consensus of what I've heard across the gaming sphere, Spider-Man 2 was a good game, but it just didn't seem to do enough.
I would say
this. Sympathy points for their for the massive leak.
Yeah, there is that, but I mean,
okay.
I'm
just gonna throw my
horses.
I'm gonna throw my 5 out there real quick. Okay, I'm just gonna throw it out there. I would say Larian, Remedy, Ryug, RGS,
RGG,
Tango, and Remedy would be mine. Did I say Remedy twice?
You did say Remedy twice after you named 5.
Larian, Remedy, RGS, Tango, and Creative Business Unit 3 would be my 5.
Okay.
You're not putting Sabotage there?
No. I don't think Sea of Stars is that great.
Wow. That is hot.
It's good. So it's just not great. It's the same reason why I was putting Insomniac on there. Spider-Man 2 is very good, but it's not great.
Yeah. My 5 would be Larian, Remedy, Motive, CD Projekt Red, and Creative Business Unit 3.
Stephanie?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't really feel that strongly outside of maybe like I don't know the top 3 that are there. So I kind of and I don't know much about them, a lot of them. So I kind of abstain. If you need me to like be a tiebreaker, fine. But I don't have any strong feelings.
Is there anything that we instantly see should be cut?
I
would say
Neo-Wiz.
I would say Sabotage. Yeah, cut them. Neo-Wiz, I would cut also.
I would say CD Projekt cut.
I would say CD Projekt and Neo for sure.
Definitely.
Okay, is it time for me to fight?
I
definitely would say
because I let y'all cut Cyberpunk from what art direction.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like with all the stuff they did to rehabilitate Cyberpunk 2077, and
yeah,
then
but
they
you want to
pushed out.
reward them for putting out a bad game in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a bad. Okay, I was playing
Well,
2077 on PC. It wasn't a bad game
okay,
for me.
bad in quotes, because I played it on Xbox Series X. I didn't have an issue with it either. I didn't have any issues either. But
Okay, are we talking from a bias, or are we okay? So if we're about to eliminate CD Projekt Red, we gotta all five of
no,
us gotta ask
I
ourselves
just want to
this.
hear your I just want to hear your case.
Mhm.
I just want to know if, quote unquote, did they release a bad game in the first place, and should we reward them if they did? That's the question.
So you know what? It's fine. It's fine.
No, I don't care. I think they did a good job turning the game around from all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all I'm gonna say is go to CD Projekt, go to Cyberpunk 2077 like website, and just look at their change log. Just look at it. It will take you 2 days to read their change log for everything they did to rehabilitate that game, plus elevate it for Phantom Liberty.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys put in work. Those guys
Okay.
put in work, and they also I feel like they also were great with the transparency, because they came out and said, "Yeah, we know we put out a game that was not what it was." You
Okay.
know, a lot of these, like the day before, them fuckers disappeared 4 days later.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well,
I mean,
after the original game came out.
After the game came out, they shut their studio down 4 days later.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're making
game.
your point.
I will say that definitely Tango Gameworks, Librarian, and Remedy definitely needs to be on it. Those three are definitely keepers. I will say that. I don't think Sabotage did enough, even though Seal Stars is, like Corey said, good. I don't think RGG needs to be on there. Because like even though a lot of people are now getting into the Yakuza games, I still don't think they did enough for people to care and stuff. So I definitely will say Remedy definitely earns it. Librarian definitely earns it with Baldur's Gate 3. Motive definitely earns it with Dead Space, because they really did a good job. And Motive was like very transparent, giving up updates, showing the games and stuff. They like really showed the stuff that they were doing with that game. So I really respect that. So I definitely think they on there. And then Tango Gameworks coming out of nowhere.
I want to be very clear. I think all of these studios deserve to be on this list. We just have to make the tough decision to cut 5.
Yeah.
I will give it to Insomniac needs to stay, but I think RGG needs to go. And
I'm the opposite.
RGS.
Yeah.
RGS needs to go. And who was Creative Business Unit
for Final
Fantasy 16
and 14.
Oh, and 14, you were right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which they've kept that game going too.
Yeah. That's why I added them, was
so
mostly
because
of 14.
So if we take Insomniac off, I will put Creative Business Work Unit, because Final Fantasy 14 is going strong, and a lot of stuff that they added to their that game
is anyone married to Insomniac?
No.
Like
like if they've done Spider-Man, Ratchet and Clank, and they've done 3 games in the lifespan of like PS4. Yeah, if they'd done all that this year, because Ratchet and Clank was what, 2 years ago?
Launch? No, 2 years. Yeah, 2 years.
I thought it was last year.
2 years.
It was the year after.
Yeah,
after the PS5 launch.
PS5 is amazing. By the way, that game is that's a masterpiece.
I just brought it for PS4.
Well, I think right now, well, we can also kick NeoWiz off, because I think no one was really in love with them either.
Yeah, I think they are on here because Liza P turned out to be a pretty big surprise, and that was their first game. But okay, if nobody's married to NeoWiz, we can take them off too. We agree that, let's see, Larry and Remedy. What was the other lock we thought?
Tango. As we're arguing Tango and Creative.
In CBU. All right, Pat, you
would-
you need to
I'm
you need to
gonna-
speak up for RGS now. You need to speak up for them.
I'm going.
I would speak up, but to be perfectly honest, Tango and Creative probably deserve spots 4 and 5. Although I really do think that RGG is really kicking strong
Mhm.
and
We
trying
want
to
to put them in
incorporate
place of
Yakuza into
Sabotage.
America.
We want to put them in place of Sabotage.
That wouldn't be a bad spot, I guess.
I mean, granted, it's not like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are. This is
Okay.
the best. This is the best studio, right? These are just the 5 spots that are open.
All right. All right. So here it is. It's the only one I'm gonna really fight for on this list. Motive Studio.
I was gonna argue Motive if you didn't
Okay.
speak up. I
Okay.
think
Motive.
I think
Motive Studio.
Here's my argument real quick before you go, LeRon. Based on not just Dead Space, but as a studio that started out as pretty much a studio that writes the games that other developers develop, and then turning into a very decent development studio. Like, you know, they helped develop Battlefront 2, Star Wars Battlefront 2, which, you know, people say what they want about that game. I think the gameplay of that game is solid, but then they went on to do the what was the TIE Fighter game, or the X-Wing game that they made?
That Star Wars one.
Yeah, the Star Wars flight game, Rogue something. What was it called? Shoot, I forget. But that one.
Not Rogue Leader.
No,
it's
it was
the one that had Rogue Squadron.
No, what? No, Squadrons. It was just called Squadrons. Okay,
Squadrons.
Squadrons.
They made
okay.
Squadrons, which was really good, and then they went on to make the Dead Space remake, which by all accounts is incredible. I would argue Motive deserves a spot on here based on how they've grown, it done something really unique in the industry of coming, you know, developing into a studio that's, we're only going to write for these games and help with assets to, we're making our own games, right?
I feel you.
That would be my argument.
My main argument is like they basically rebuilt a game that up until now EA just was like, yeah, whatever, you know. And they did so much with it, and like I've said this time and time out on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
The attention to detail, the lore, you know, like with the overall franchise, looking at 5 games. I mean, when I say 5 games, I'm talking about like the two games that aren't technically part of the main series, like Dead Space Extraction, and there's another one, and even having stuff like from various DLCs of the other games and stuff like that. Huh?
The Wii one, the Dead Space
Extraction, yeah, and Dead Space.
The Wii one. Okay.
And then the Dead Space game that was a mobile game, you know.
Okay.
Stuff like that, you know. And the fact that they kept the veterans on their toes, like, you know, like they did things. Like, here's an example, right? Most of you Dead Space players out there know, like, you know, like the bench when you update your weapons and your armor and stuff like that. There's one particular spot in the original game that you will get attacked by a bad guy. I believe it's in chapter 9. You will get attacked by a bad guy as soon as you leave the bench. Well, I was looking for that, and they switched it up on us. Instead of you being attacked at a bench, you get attacked at a store. And it's just little stuff like that just keep the veterans on their toes, you know, and things of that nature. The fact that they had dedication and attention to detail to the development of the game. You know,
the flying in that game is so much better when you are in zero guarantee.
Have you made it to the ADS canon yet?
Not yet. I just got to. I think I'm about to hit chapter 3.
Oh God, you got like.
I got a lot.
You still got 2 more chapters to go. You still got 2 more chapters to go.
Yeah, because I'm like on the other side after the ship fell and everything. I'm like on that side and stuff. That's what I said.
But in all seriousness, and then also the one big thing is that New Game Plus actually added something new to the overall mix of the game. New Game Plus, basically you play the game again, and if you do things correctly, you get the actual bonus ending of the game, which actually leads directly into the story of Dead Space 2.
if they remake 2. I hope they do.
Oh, it's happening because they've already started polling. What should they do next? They've already started polling.
Yeah, because
so yeah,
they
that's
did a phenomenal job with Dead Space. I'm
Pat. You haven't
loving
played
this
Dead
game.
Space, have you?
I have.
You have?
No,
What would
they,
you?
they
What
it is a
what say you?
it is a good remake.
I
I do
would
think the team put a lot of love and attention to it.
I would put
Okay,
motive
so
on here
let's-
over sabotage.
It's not-
And yeah, unfortunately now, like like we've talked about all these games and stuff. Bye CD Projekt Red.
Okay, well, if everybody's good, I'm putting motive over sabotage.
But Motive
good.
did not get the high praises from Hinobu Sakaguchi and the rest of the Chrono Trigger team.
Well, I don't give him high praises, so here we go.
Well, Sakaguchi has been retired for over 20 years now.
Mhm.
All right, good job, everybody. So that was that. That was Studio of the Year. Larian, Motive, Remedy, Tango Gameworks, and Creative Business Unit 3 is best.
You know what? Let's
Studio of the Year.
let's skip this next category for now.
Best trailer. I actually thought about eliminating this category altogether.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay.
All right. Best storytelling. So how do we want to define this? Although we do need one more nomination in here. So that's going to be the argument. I don't really have a have a dog in this fight, really, to be honest.
Best story. Let me think of all the games. Let me think of all the games I played.
Well, while you're thinking, we should probably name them for our listeners, right?
Yeah.
So...
So Alan Wake 2, Spider-Man 2, Final Fantasy 16, and Space for the Unbound are the 4 nominations we have right now.
I think Hi-Fi Rush would be a good one. Even though it's funny, but it's a good like video game kind of story. For it, and I think that's something different
it's popcorny.
Yeah. So I would
I'd
say
give it
Hi-Fi
to
Rush.
it for a Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm gonna actually throw Dead Space remake in here.
I was thinking about that too. Not that I played it, but just the way they kind of expanded on the first one and also like gave the main character voice lines.
A voice.
Probably,
yeah.
Probably really amped up that storytelling.
Yeah, I didn't play it, but I did watch a Let's Play because I'm too chicken to actually play it.
Oh, you need to play. You need to play.
No, I watched a Let's Play. It's good enough.
To tell you the truth, Stephanie, it is not scary. It has some jump scares. It has some jump scares.
You are a liar.
See,
this is how I know you haven't gotten far enough in the game.
You want to know why it's not scary? Because Alan Wake 2 is scary. When you get into that old house, when you get into the senior, when you get into the senior,
never been a scary game.
When you get into the senior home, and the jump cuts of grandma coming in when you don't expect it, when you're walking through a creepy when you about to even go fight her and she keeps jumping in and the landscape shapes, the jump scares in Alan Wake 2 when they do that eternal darkness insanity kind of thing.
Didn't you dedicate an entire podcast to bashing Alan Wake 2?
Yeah.
That was me.
I trashed hold on. I trashed it for this gameplay. I didn't trash it for a story and jump scares.
Wait, hold on. A game with bad gameplay cannot be scary unless the scary part about the game is the game and how it plays.
No, the gameplay is the bad part of Alan Wake 2, in my opinion. But the jump scares, the horror that they're going for, Remedy did a phenomenal job on that.
Okay.
Question.
All right. So
I believe my quote on Alan Wake was, "There's a reason why Twin Peaks originally only got 1.5 seasons."
Okay, we are going to move on and
okay.
So,
all right. So
we need a
here we go. I'm nominating Dead Space to get back to get on this list because of what I said earlier, like the way Motive was able to expand in the lore of the game, but also keep the game fresh and original to the actual source.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that we mentioned it, like Isaac Clarke went from a silent protagonist to actually having a voice and having a say in the game, and it's not just some BS like what the fuck all the time, like you know how like sometimes like you have a character and his vocal lines are basically just reactions to other things, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Also, Also, I would also go with the best with storytelling on this one because simply put, like it also fleshed out all the other characters that were basically like side characters in the game. Now, yeah, there was a couple of flaws with certain characters. Like Ed, you'll find out what I mean when you meet Dr. Kind. But anyway, but beyond that, like expanding characters and also like fixing some things that were left hanging open as questions, like how the hell is Nicole helping Isaac out in the game? You know, stuff like that. You'll get an answer for that when you play and beat the game and things of that nature. So not only did they elevate the story, they fixed some elements of the story that left major questions after Dead Space 1, 2, and 3 had already happened and Visceral Games got shut down.
Yeah. I would be okay with Dead Space. The only 2 games I was looking through everything else that was nominated on other categories. The only other 2 games I would say maybe we could consider, which I didn't play either of them, so you guys need to tell me, would be Coffee Talk 2 is on here on somewhere, and then Baldur's Gate 3. My issue with saying Baldur's Gate 3 though is because there are so many different stories that could be told. Does it keep it all straight through these story threads? So
as someone who is in like the final act, they do. It's very impressive, extremely impressive.
Would it be worth taking off something like Spider-Man 2 to add Baldur's Gate? Because Spider-Man 2 story,
I can't say that because I never played Spider-Man 2, so I don't know.
Spider-Man 2 story was not impressive, in my opinion.
I keep hearing that. I keep hearing that it's a fun game to play, but that's about where it ends.
1,000%. So
which makes me wonder why the hell did I run out and spend $70 day one for it?
I don't know. Why did you?
Well, I'll only advocate.
Well, I'm invested.
Okay.
My vote would be to remove Spider-Man 2 and add Dead Space and Baldur's Gate 3.
I'm fine with that.
Sounds
as long as
great.
Those that played Spider-Man 2 agree. Yes.
Okay, I'm going to do that then.
Here I can copy and paste that while you do that.
All right. So the nominees would be Alan Wake 2, which I think probably a lock for this category, to be honest with you. Dead Space Remake, Final Fantasy 16, Space for the Inbound, and Baldur's Gate 3.
No Hi-Fi Rush?
No.
Uh-oh.
As much as I enjoyed that, I don't know if that story stands out enough to really be a part of this category, in my opinion.
Just get some diversity, variety for the nomination.
There's a lot of variety. There's all kinds of story, dark, fantasy, scary.
Which is dark. Dead Space dark.
All right, so I'm going to knock out these last 5 sections here, and then we'll move on to Best RPG. So, Pat, you are our resident RPG person here. What do you think of this category? Is there anything that needs added or deleted?
Let's see.
Starfield. I know people brought up Starfield for this category. I don't think Starfield is worth being on. Did you guys
pay attention to that video that I sent you guys? I sent y'all a YouTube link.
I didn't watch it. I'm not gonna lie to you.
You should watch it. That will help you make the vote about Starfield.
I mean, I played enough of Starfield.
It's not in Starfield's favor, by the way. The video
usually isn't. So our nominees right now would be
I'll wait for you,
Sea of Stars, Final Fantasy 16, Octopath Traveler 2, Persona 5 Tactica. I think I would remove just because it's in the best tactics/strategy category.
Fair.
Baldur's Gate.
I agree.
3. I agree. Diablo 4.
Yeah, if you remove Tactica, you got 5 there.
Are there any other RPGs anybody would think about?
I would say Persona 5 Tactica and put Star Ocean on there, and I would take
Star Ocean Second Story R.
Yeah,
that's a bad take. That's a bad take already.
Dude,
that's a remake.
It's a remake, but a lot of people love that game. It literally it did good in sales. A lot of people complete 100% it. It got really good reviews. A lot of people were looking forward to Star Ocean when that Nintendo Direct happened, and a lot of people went out and support that game. when it came
So
when it
so
came
wait,
out.
so wait, what drops then?
Yeah,
I
what
would
we
say
take out?
I would say Diablo 4 because
Nope.
I would
only
say
reason why
everybody, dude.
only reason I say Diablo 4 because Baldur's Gate 3 has crushed Diablo 4. That's the
What?
only reason why. Yeah,
Um,
a lot of people are
I thought.
talking.
They're
Sorry, I
two
thought I heard
different.
No,
They're
something
two
else.
different. They're
they're
two
two different.
different. They're
They're
two
Two
different
different
types of games,
games.
though.
yeah, they're two different games, but Diablo 4, yeah, it did what it needed to do. But once Baldur's Gate 3 dropped, I hear more about Baldur's Gate 3 than Diablo 4.
I don't.
Well,
I think
Diablo's
And
Baldur's
more
still
people
going
are
pretty damn
and
strong.
more people are still playing Baldur's Gate 3, doing more runs of it. Like Baldur's Gate 3 is standing out more than Diablo 4. I mean, you could keep it. I have no problem with that. But I'm just saying, for me personally, I would drop Diablo 4 and try to find another game, another RPG.
I would say actually drop Octopath Traveler. 'Cause, like, I
No,
really
no,
haven't
no,
heard.
no.
I
Oh
have
no.
no. Okay, hold on, hold on.
No,
We
no,
heard
go
that
ahead.
out. Hear me out for a second. I haven't heard enough conversation about this game. I really have not. And I'm not gonna bring a personal bias into this, but honestly, like Octopath Traveler, the original Octopath Traveler didn't do enough for me.
Mhm.
And the fact that like this is a much ballyhooed sequel and everything, and like there's been no conversation about it. Like it's kind of weird. And it's
Yeah,
not that I'm. It's
You're
not
just
that
not
I'm.
listening to the right conversations.
right.
I was just
Because
about. I was just about to say it's not just about that. Because I understand that a lot. That we as individuals, we always try to find our echo chamber. I get that.
Mhm.
But in all seriousness, like hell, if it didn't, I don't think it made Keely's list.
because a lot
Yeah,
of people didn't
yeah,
vote
it did
for
not
it.
make Keely's list, unfortunately, and it
It
pissed
didn't
off
make
a lot of
Keely's list for
people.
nominations. It didn't.
That's
So
why a
if it
lot of
didn't make
people.
the if
That's
it didn't
why a
make the
lot of people.
nominees, it sure as hell wasn't going to win.
That's why a lot of people was upset that Octopath Traveler 2 wasn't on there,
Who
even
was
for
upset?
JRPG. A lot of people who voted for it,
There was
they were
actually
really
quite a few people that said it that was underappreciated.
LeRon literally go
I
better
would-
stories,
I'm not.
better
I'm
better
not going to
stories
doubt
in
it.
the game.
If you guys say it was out there, I'm not
Oh,
going to
and
doubt it.
you're talking about soundtrack music. You go listen to that soundtrack in Octopath Traveler 2. You would be like,
It's
good.
soundtrack's pretty damn amazing, and the fact that
Okay,
pretty
okay.
much all the songs have a
Pat,
day and night version.
I would
Pat, let me
argue.
ask you a question then.
Mhm.
Is Second Story R stronger than Octopath Traveler?
I would argue no.
No,
Okay. All right, there we go.
I would also argue that Diablo 4 is stronger than Second Story R. I would say
I'd
12
definitely
million,
say that.
12 million in sales already would argue that.
All right. Here's another
reason-
thing.
Hold on.
Food for thought. I love Final Fantasy 16. It's one of my top games of the year. But do we think that there's another RPG that is more deserving than Final Fantasy 16 just purely from an RPG standpoint?
That's a good case
Besides-
because I would argue Final Fantasy 16 is less of an RPG than the rest of these games.
And that's why I said Star Ocean. It just got a lot of love. Like Star Ocean, Octopath Traveler got a lot
Star
of
Ocean has the nostalgia.
Mhm.
Is nostalgia a credible thing to like deal with as far as best RPG when we consider that it's a remake?
I mean, Sea of Stars is a homage to Chrono
But
Trigger.
that's a new game.
Mhm.
Sea of
Yeah,
Stars
but
is a
it's-
brand new game with a unique story, unique combat system, and all. I feel like I just wrote a review of the game with those 5
I'm
points I
just
just
saying,
said.
that's why I was just saying, personally, for me, like Diablo 4 would go off because of the strength of Baldur's Gate 3. That was the only thing.
Problem
that's
is you
why
haven't
Yeah, but
played
you could
Diablo
argue that
4,
for
so-
any of these games.
Right.
And
And that's
Wait,
why
what'd you say, Pat?
I said you haven't played Diablo 4, so you can't
Right, and-
say that.
And that's what I'm just saying. Personally, for me, I would have took that off and put Star Ocean because of the popularity
what?
that I hear.
Okay,
about Star
actually,
Ocean
you know
and
what,
Diablo
Ed?
4.
Instead
But
of
I'm
saying,
just saying that's for me.
hold on,
That's for me.
pause. Instead of saying personally for me, because I haven't played this, you should say like I have not played this game, so I cannot speak in good faith about why this game should stay.
Okay. I mean, and I'm fine keeping.
I mean,
Diablo
that's-
4.
Okay.
I'm fine keeping it.
okay,
I'm just
I
saying.
mean, I would argue that at least 3 out of the 5 of us say Diablo stays. I mean, I don't know what Stephanie's opinion is on it, but
I haven't played it, but from what I've seen, read, and heard, even from friends that play it, I think it is deserving of a nomination.
Yeah, I would say everything I heard about when the game released, it would stay. I would say the subsequent season didn't do it any favors, but the initial release and the excitement around season 2 and the new expansion coming out next year, I would say people are still loving Diablo 4 in a way that is not being
So it
talked
looks
about
like
enough.
Sea of Stars, Final Fantasy 16, Octopath Traveler, Diablo 4, and Baldur's Gate 3 are the lock.
We didn't really have that conversation about Final Fantasy 16. I would have said it was a lock until Stephanie brought up the fact that it's not as much of an RPG as some of the other games.
I'm only saying that in case,
Mhm.
for some reason, there is a sixth candidate that's very strong,
Yeah.
that's worth a
Yeah,
debate. But
no.
if it's
Yeah.
not even close, then
It
Yeah.
also, where would Final Fantasy 16 fit better in another category then?
I'm curious though, why isn't Tears of the Kingdom in this RPG
It's not
category?
an RPG, it's an action adventure game.
Oh, is it?
Mhm.
I've always
Funny 'cause
considered
I don't
Zelda to
think
be
we have it on
RPGs.
the
I would
action adventure one.
I would never consider Zelda an RPG.
I would consider it as an RPG, but because of them going in a new direction, it's more of an action adventure because
Okay.
they inspire you to explore more. To explore more, and because it doesn't have the traditional dungeons like the past games does, I feel like that's more of an action adventure, open world kind of game. So I wouldn't.
I was
consider it
just
RPG.
curious because I don't know, like the traditionalist in me has always thought Zelda was an RPG.
I'm going to go ahead and say that this category is a lock then with Sea of Stars, Final Fantasy 16, Octopath Traveler 2, Diablo 4, and Baldur's Gate 3.
Thank
Good
you.
with that.
I'm
Thank
making
you. I'm good with that.
decision. It just seems like the other stuff we're just talking in circles and we're not really getting anywhere, to be honest. So the best
Where are we
action
going with this
adventure.
list?
I think this
Oh
one's
my
probably going to be the hardest for a
Oh
lot
my
of us.
God.
Hogwarts
I just look at
Legacy.
what we have left to deal with, and oh my God.
I know.
Yeah.
Some of these though, I think we are going to skim through. Like best fighting game, it's going to be between Mortal Kombat.
Oh, that's
No.
easy.
Yeah.
That one's
It's
easy.
Sea of Stars.
So here, best action adventure. So we got Hogwarts Legacy, Armored Core 6, Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, Assassin's Creed, Mirage, Like a Dragon Gaiden, Spider-Man 2, Frontiers of Pandora, and Tears of the Kingdom. So we need
The
to.
two I will fight for. Oh, sorry, you finish.
I was just gonna say we need to eliminate 3 of these.
Mhm.
3. All right. There's 2 that I'm gonna fight on, and that's Tears of the Kingdom and Hogwarts Legacy.
I will also
But
fight
everything
for
else.
those 2.
I say
I would
those are
keep those.
locked.
Yeah, I would keep those two as a lot.
Okay.
Okay.
Good. There.
Oh, y'all leaving this up to me?
No.
I would say
no,
Bomb.
those 2 are
Bomb
locked.
Rush
So we have 3. We have to pick 3 out of 5 then.
I don't think
Yeah.
Armored Core. I would take Armored Core.
I
6.
actually I didn't have anything nasty to say about either one of those games, so we're good.
Yeah. Didn't you say that Assassin's Creed Mirage was like it was okay?
It's not. It's probably out of all the Assassin's Creed games, it's probably my least favorite.
Yeah, I have it, but I haven't installed it yet. I haven't played it yet.
I'm gonna stand with Pat on that one then.
I'm also going to stand with Pat. I started it, and I'm like, man, this feels really old and just not.
I'll be honest with you, I'm the one that nominated this game, but I only nominated this game so we fill because like the job was to fill out the slots.
All right, then
If
we're
we
gonna
give it to an Ubisoft title. I would definitely put Avatar way above Assassin's
I've
Creed.
actually heard a lot of great things about Avatar, to be
I
honest.
had two actually.
So I'm gonna move to into the
I also nominated Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, but I feel like it can go because like there's stronger games on this list, honestly.
I would have kept it.
Yeah, I would have kept
that's
it
good.
too.
I kind of
Okay, what? Okay, so
I would take
why would you
Armored Core 6? Because I would take Armored Core 6 off.
Woo, you better be careful.
And the reason
Where's our popcorn, people?
No, the reason why I feel like it's not an action adventure game, and even though it is more action, I just feel like it feels more of it looks more of a shooter in a sense with stylized action.
I would have called it
mixed in.
action.
I would just feel.
To be honest,
I would feel like it's more of a.
Well, there's no action game. There's no action game category, so
I guess you're right.
Where does this go then?
I guess you're right. We forgot the just action game. I think because there wasn't any other. What are you going to nominate? Call of Duty?
Oh goodness! Then
So
Yeah, I just feel like I feel like just Armored Core doesn't fit this category. I guess with the
I
games that were, I guess with the because action adventure, I'm like, is that two separate things?
no, there's
Molded into one.
there's action adventure, which would be like Hogwarts Legacy, Tears of the Kingdom, etc. Then there's
So what's the
action. Then there's action, which would be like I would put I would say that's a varying kind of thing. Like you could put anything from Bayonetta in there, which is highly stylized action, to Call of Duty, which is all action, to a very, very like aimed linear experience, right?
because I
And
just
then
like
adventure I would put stuff like Telltale games in there, or Life is Strange, or Full
because
Throttle, or something like that in there.
Because like Armored Core 6 reminds me of the Gungrave, the Gungrave game that came out, where it's just pure action, and that's what kind of how I feel about Armored Core 6. Like
But
it
there's
feels
more
like it's more.
customization in there than there would be something like.
As a person who actually owns and plays
Tell us.
plays Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon, like number one, there's a definitive story to this game.
Okay.
Number two, there is a progression system to this game. You cannot get to this game without being, one, better at it, two, actually augmenting your characters and actually going through the adventure. There's objectives for every single chapter that you play in.
Okay. Then it's an action adventure game. We'll just throw it in there then. What would get cut here then? I
I
mean,
think like a Dragon Gaiden. I haven't played it or anything. I don't think enough of us played it.
Dragon Gaiden got very well reviewed, though. Is the
Mhm.
problem.
Yeah.
It's
Oh my
a
god!
fun
I can't
one.
believe I'm about to. You know what? I'm starting to understand why Spider-Man 2 did not have anything going on at Keeley's award show. The more I look at it, the more I feel like Spider-Man 2 is the lacking game here in this list as well.
I would put Avatar over Spider-Man in my opinion, just from what I've seen and heard and dabbled in.
And I love Bomber Cyberpunk. I love it because of the nostalgia, but the nostalgia can't be the only thing. Because in all honesty, thank God it's not in there for best story, because it would have been cut.
So do we want to cut Bomb Rush and Spider-Man and add Avatar?
Yes,
Avatar,
I say yes.
there, yeah.
Okay, well that made
I mean, if you guys aren't going to let go of Hogwarts or Tears of the Kingdom,
I'm not letting go of those two.
No, me neither.
I'm
You
just,
got
I'm
two
just,
people.
I'm just fucking with y'all.
No, I know.
I mean,
but
and
I swear, we're all gonna be up from PAX, and y'all are gonna drag me into a dark corner.
I would cut Hogwarts Legacy because it really proved to be a really great game, and a lot. And outside of all the controversy that came towards it, they did a phenomenal.
What controversy though? What controversy? Because I asked people at the beginning of the year. Hold on, stop.
Oh.
I asked people at the beginning of the year, do not let their bullshit about J.K. Rowling hurt the development team of this game.
It's the best-selling game of the year, even over Call of Duty. So obviously, obviously 24 million people didn't care.
Right, and that was the controversy, is that
it wasn't controversy enough.
You're supporting her because she owns the license. Even though
everything we do, we're supporting people we don't like. How many people eat a Chick-fil-A?
I completely understand, but
I eat Chick-fil-A and I'm queer.
But I mean, and that's what I'm just saying. It was a controversy, but that's what I'm saying, that the developers proved that, regardless of whatever you guys think, we made a phenomenal game, and everybody who went in and picked that game out when it released agreed that it was a phenomenal game and loved it. So that's why I would definitely keep it on there, because the developers did what they needed to do. They put out a phenomenal product. People went out and bought it, regardless for whatever reasons that they had, and it still continued to be a great game. Out even with the controversy. So that's why I say that it deserves to definitely stay on this list.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's best action game. Our next.
What's the nominees for it?
Best action game will be Hogwarts Legacy, Armored Core 6, Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora, The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, and Like a Dragon Gaiden: The Man Who Erased His Name.
Man, best video game win in that category, because it looks like it's going to be a slap fight.
Yeah.
All right, best fighting game. So we really only have 2 nominees for this. Somebody put Final Fantasy.
What is going on here?
Somebody put Final Fantasy 16 and Sea of Stars in here.
It must be a copy and paste error.
Clearly, Sea of Stars wins here.
Wasn't there like a Grand Blue
Yeah,
fighting game?
there's a bunch of other fighting games that came out this year
I thought that was at least 2022. I thought that was
there were 5
after
nominees
this.
at the Game Awards, so that's what I'm going off of.
Woo!
I think we should probably just pit this again. I think fighting game is niche enough to where we don't need to have 5 games in here. I think it's going to be Street
Yeah.
Fighter versus Mortal Kombat,
I'm fine with that
That's
one.
fair.
in my opinion.
Fair.
Yeah.
I don't really know what other fighting games came out, to be honest with you. If anybody has
Was
any,
it?
I looked, and everything that people were putting into the fighting game category made 0 sense.
all right, well then it makes 0 sense to add more.
Oh, did King of Fighters come out for?
I got
Switch?
delayed.
That was last year.
The new one got delayed too into next year.
Oh, okay.
Next year is going to be a
That's-
battle for this category though. Tekken, King of Fighters, the
Mm.
rumor of the new Virtual Fighter coming out. Sega kind of commenting but not commenting on Soul Calibur. So all right. Best soundtrack. Who put Street Fighter and
Fighter 6.
who put these two?
That's what I highlighted in yellow. I think that these were copy and paste errors.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go.
No, I actually put those games on there because
Oh, I'm
because
sorry.
because fighting games actually have like really legit soundtracks.
All right.
Like honestly, a lot of the non like secular music, you know, to use an
Mhm.
old churchy word,
Yeah.
that I listen to is usually video game music, and a lot of it comes from fighting games.
I
and
would
stuff
say
like that.
Street Fighter probably has an amazing soundtrack. I don't know about Mortal Kombat. I mean, I bet Mortal Kombat's is more ambient.
Mortal Kombat 1 soundtrack is not the same as like the old school Mortal Kombat games. It has more of an ambiance,
Well done.
you know.
Ambiance. Been there.
It's more like a score than a soundtrack.
All right.
Sea of
Well,
Stars.
here are the nominees. I don't really have a dog in this fight either. I do hear good things about certain games. So Street Fighter 6, Mortal Kombat 1, Final Fantasy 16, Sea of Stars, Hogwarts Legacy, Baldur's Gate 3, and Octopath Traveler 2. I heard people say Octopath Traveler 2 is probably a lock.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I would say that's a lock. I would put my lock vote in for Final Fantasy 16.
That one's going to be my.
I'm gonna have to go listen to this.
I would-
Traveler soundtrack because
I would those. Oh, go ahead, LeRon. I'm sorry. I didn't mean.
No, I'm just saying I'm gonna have to go sit down and listen to this Octopath Traveler soundtrack because like this is the third time like people have spoken about the music in this game. I'm like, huh?
Mhm.
It's good. Like
It's
they
It
got
is?
some good songs that are good to travel in.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I would throw Sea of Stars out and put Hi-Fi Rush because
Yeah,
that Hi-Fi
who did
Rush got some
nominate Hi-Fi Rush
really
on
good.
here?
That
I
game
thought Hi-Fi
really
Rush
got
was
some.
on here at one point.
I
What
thought it
happened
was
to it?
too. Hi-Fi Rush's soundtrack is amazing.
Who played some
Put it
hanky
on
panky
there.
with this list? Yeah, put it on there.
I say,
As a matter of
whoever
fact,
put
take
Street
Mortal
Fighter
Kombat 1 off. Take Mortal Kombat 1 off and put Hi-Fi Rush in there.
Great. Good idea.
I know
that soundtrack
Hi-Fi
is
Rush was
amazing.
on here at one point though. I know it was in the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, it's in sound design. That's where it's at.
Well, it's also in sound design. I think it has great sound design too, but
Okay. All right. For the sake of breezing through here, these are the ones I'm gonna say. Keep Street Fighter 6, keep Final Fantasy 16, keep Hogwarts Legacy, keep Sea of Stars, and that's all I'm gonna say. So I only kept 4.
I want Stephanie's opinion on Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
Because I don't know anything about the music in that game. What do you
Yeah.
think?
I think this goes in with the theme of how I think about Baldur's Gate in total. When I first booted the game up, I'm like, oh, generic fantasy music, no big deal, whatever. So there's just especially during the character select, I'm like, this is stupid. And then as I'm playing through it, especially the battle music, the boss fights, I'm like, man, I gotta start looking up the OST and listening to it. So um I don't know if it's truly orchestrated or whatever, but it's great fantasy music. But it's not something that I will flip out if it doesn't make the top 5, but I played it long enough where I feel like if they ever were to come out with a CD set of it, I would buy it. But like if it's like Baldur's Gate, Final Fantasy 16, Final Fantasy 16 would beat it.
Okay.
You know what also had good music? Chia did.
Yeah.
Is it
Chia
good enough
had
to
good
add
cultural
here?
music to that.
Is it good enough
to
to
their game.
add to cut
So
anything off of this list?
I would cut Hogwarts Legacy music
Sadly, I
and
would
put
probably cut Hogwarts
and
Legacy.
and put Super Mario Wonder. Super Mario Wonder's music is so good. I'm sorry, that soundtrack to that game is so good.
It is pretty good. I would cut Hogwarts Legacy as well. I mean, it's great, but it is definitely like ambient mood setting magic music and not, this big orchestral score that you need to listen to all the time. It feels a lot like Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild
Okay.
type music, right? Where like it's ambient, you hear it, it contributes to the overall atmosphere of the game, but it's not like a banger.
Yeah, no worries. I put that up just to make sure we talked through it, so
Yeah.
I'm okay cutting it.
Okay. So Octopath is a lock too, right? We decided.
That was locked.
Yeah. Okay. Do we want to? I mean, anybody listen to Street Fighter 6's music? Because I certainly
Not
didn't.
me. The game don't look good to me. So
Do we want to add Mario Wonder's music? Because that
I want to add Chia's music.
I say honestly, for sake of diversity and like, again, we're just talking about top 5. Anything we boot out doesn't mean it sucks. It
Yeah.
just means it's 6 or 7.
Yeah.
I'm willing to put Chia on and replace it with replace Baldur's Gate with Chia, because that's how much you reminded me of Chia and how good it is as well.
Okay.
I'm fine with
Is there anything
So,
else we want to cut?
Chia,
Because
Hi-Fi Rush, Final Fantasy.
do we want to
Yes,
keep Sea of Stars on this list?
That's why I say I would put Mario Wonder for Sea of Stars.
Yeah, I think Mario Wonder's music's way better than Sea of Stars.
As a person who's played Sea of Stars, soundtrack was nice, but wasn't memorable.
It had some good Yasuda tracks to it, though.
Then
Yeah.
we're locking this list then. Right here. We have.
Wait a second.
Uh-oh.
Wait a second. Mario Wonder?
Yeah.
What did I miss? Hold on.
That soundtrack is.
Hold on. I went to go check to make sure the dogs hadn't killed themselves, and a game that wasn't even on the list is now here. And don't get me wrong. I played Mario Wonder. Nice soundtrack.
It's amazing.
Wow.
I mean, LeRon, you weren't here when we removed Street Fighter 6. Do you have an argument for that?
I really don't.
Okay.
I really don't, because like I'm not a Street Fighter person. I haven't been a Street Fighter person since 4.
Okay. Well, we cut it and replaced it with.
All I know is I'm waiting for. What in the heck, LeRon, is with Kuma beating somebody with a salmon fish?
I'm gonna
we will. I'm sorry. I seen that and I fell out laughing. I'm like, oh,
that's been a thing since Tekken Tag Tournament 2.
All right, best
soundtrack. Smack the hell out of somebody.
The best soundtrack locks are Chia, Hi-Fi Rush, Final Fantasy 16, Super Mario Wonder, and Octopath Traveler 2. I think that is a great list.
Solid.
Yes.
Best sound design. I'm shocked Resident Evil isn't on here. Anything that's scary, I'm shocked is not on here.
We got Alan Wake.
I know.
That's on
right.
Yep.
And Dead Space.
Dead Space is on here. Hi-Fi Rush, I think, deserves to be on here. Destiny's sound design is impeccable. I will argue. I'm not opposed to deleting Destiny off anybody's list.
You don't have to delete anything. We only got 4 on here.
I know, but I'm saying like Destiny's sound design is impeccable, and Bungie's sound design has always been.
I would keep Destiny too.
Hunter game this year.
So we need to add one more.
Sound design. Let's see. Of all the games I played, Dead Space is definitely the one. Because I'm thinking Mario Wonder, Mario RPG, Advance Wars.
I mean, I would add Tears of the Kingdom.
Actually, Tears of the Kingdom?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that I don't know. I don't know. Sorry. Let's see.
So since Hellblade 2 didn't come out, that would have been my nominee if Hellblade 2 was out.
I mean, Resident Evil 4 isn't on this list, is it?
No.
I don't think so.
Was that sound design good? I thought it was pretty scary.
I don't think the ambience. Because I played a little bit of Resident Evil 4. I don't think the ambience of the game was good enough.
Okay.
How about the ambience of Hogwarts Legacy? Since we thought maybe not so much a soundtrack.
Ooh.
But
Ooh, you know what?
Yeah,
That's a good contender.
I think
I'm down with that.
I think the
Stephanie, this is why we keep you.
Yeah.
sometimes
This is
I
why
come
we
out
pay you
with
the big
zingers.
bucks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm fine
Well,
with
there's our
that.
fifth game.
Great. Okay. Great.
Unless someone really has a burning game they want to put in there.
No, let's keep
Yeah.
going, please.
I was like,
Falling
don't take that
asleep.
game away.
How about Bluey? No. All right. So best sound design, best use of sound to create atmosphere would be the definition there, which we haven't been keeping up on, but that's fine. Is Hi-Fi Rush, Dead Space, Destiny 2, Lightfall, Alan Wake 2, and Hogwarts Legacy.
Nice.
Best horror game. Now, I have 0 dogs in this fight, but it looks like we have 5 here. Dead Space, Resident Evil 4, Amnesia, The Bunker, Dredge, and Alan Wake 2.
That's good with me. I said keep.
Yep.
Solid.
Yep.
Great.
Solid.
That is a great list. Look at us. Flew through that category. 1 for 1.
And you know what? To the Peanut Gallery listening, you do not have a vote in this.
Unless
Actually,
we want to
unless you're a
replace
patron at the
Stretch.
$5 tier or higher.
So don't
Frame.
so don't you dare put the day before in here.
All right. Best
Hold on, pat us something.
I said unless we want to replace Stretch with Fatal Frame, Mask of the Lunar Eclipse.
No, that came out didn't that come out on Wii U like 5 years ago?
Yeah.
No, we never got it here in America.
We did. It was a download
did.
only title on Wii U.
Yeah.
That was the Maiden of Black Water.
Whatever.
We
They're
did,
all
but
the
we
same.
did get it for Switch. We got the Switch version.
We're moving.
Best feel good game. Looks like we have 5 titles here as well. So we have Hi-Fi Rush, Power Wash Simulator, Smushy Come Home, Coffee Talk 2, and Pikmin 4.
I'm good with this list.
That's a great list. I mean, I would argue Mario Wonder is a pretty good feel good game on there too, but it's going to be. I feel like that's going to be nominated for enough other things that I wouldn't want to remove.
The problem Mario Wonder, because like it does have a very feel good quality to it. The problem Mario Wonder is the difficulty level starts ratcheting up as you go through the game. Then you just like wondering why the hell you're playing it.
Oh, you mean every 2D Mario game?
Right. For a game that people think is just for kids.
All right, games for impact. This is an important one. I would like to add one more to this list. But why is Crisis Core on here? That game came out last year.
No, it didn't. It came out in January.
Yeah, it came out this year.
Crisis Core?
Yeah, January.
I thought it came out in December.
It came out in January.
Mm.
You were almost going to get 3
No,
Final
it came out in
Fantasies this year.
December.
Yeah,
No.
because I bought it right around Christmas last year.
All right, guys, we gotta Google this.
I am right
now. I'm looking for it right now.
Because it was Nintendo Switch game for December. It was like the big game for December last year.
All right, so while they're looking that up, we are at 4 games, right?
December 13th, 2022.
Yeah.
Gone. Rip.
Well, let's say the ones that we have so far they clearly make sense. Chia, Venba,
Yes.
Space for the Unbound.
Yes, they all make sense.
As far as any other 2 games for impact, I don't know. These 3 were kind of my top 3. I can't think of.
I nominate Dead Space because Isaac loses his mind by the end of the game.
You know what? Did this come out? Didn't Terra Nil come out this year?
Who?
Yes, it did.
Terra Nil.
It did.
I know it won't get.
It's like pro environment, so.
Yeah. Also, I would argue that Goodbye Volcano High maybe could be in this list because it deals with a lot of, teenage anxiety, depression, and life stuff. I mean, it's not like high on the list, but what was the game we just said before Goodbye Volcano High?
Terra Nil.
There is one that I think I would like to nominate. I gotta get my Switch real quick.
Okay. Pat, were you also going to say a game too?
Well, there's a game that came out on the Switch this year, but it originally came out in 2017 on the PC that I really enjoyed called Raikkonen,
Nope, not
which
not
is
eligible.
a boy who has cancer.
Yeah, we did that one, and when we did it in 2017,
Well, I wasn't here.
I know you. Were.
It's
Neither was
it's
anybody
one.
else. It was just me and Ed and other people.
Yeah. There's one called Dordogne, Dordogne. It's this French game.
Yeah,
with
that
this
came out
little
on
girl.
Xbox last year, I think.
But it came out on Switch this year, I believe.
But it's not eligible if
it's already been released in one place somewhere else at a different time or year. Like it cannot be on this year.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I was gonna prick it, because I'm like, for what the category was, I'm like, that one is a really good one.
I don't really have any other additions. The Game Awards ones had, not that we're using their list, but just to maybe fill out this list if we want to, had Chance of Sonar. I don't really know what that is.
You know what? That
It's
could be
a game
good, but I've never played it.
Yeah, I haven't played it either. I just know it has to do with bridging together societies that have different languages, or
you're on the Tower of Babel, and you're trying to get everyone to unite in one language. So you're going around and you're listening to their language, and you're picking up cues to be like, oh, they're talking about sky, or they're talking about water, or they're saying hi.
Okay.
You know.
Well, we have 5, so I guess we could just keep that.
That's
unless
fine.
You were saying something, Steph?
No, I was going to say it's the 5th one, Goodbye Volcano High.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think there are 2 very clear competitors on this list, and the rest are fighting it out for 3rd place. But so our games for Impact will be Tchia, Venba, A Space for the Unbound, Terra Nil, and Goodbye Volcano High.
All right.
That's fine.
Time for the Stephanie categories. Husbando of the Year. We have listed Leon S. Kennedy, Sid from Final Fantasy 16, Asterion from Baldur's Gate, Gale from Baldur's Gate, Ganondorf from Tears of the Kingdom, Chris Redfield from Clive Rossfield. Sorry, I can't see that far. Clive Rossfield. I was like, where did Chris? When did he come out?
Even though he has Bando though all time.
Isaac Clarke from Dead Space. So there's 7. We need to eliminate 2.
All right. We can eliminate Sid because I think Clive is more.
You think Clive is more Husbando than Sid?
That seems very anti-agreement with the internet.
And we can also eliminate Ganon.
Sid's more of a good father figure, I feel.
Ganondorf is hot. He's
hot doesn't make. What else we got?
He's husbando.
I would also vote Ganon, but I'm trying to take my bias out of this, so I will not.
You guys
be
like
Ganon. Well, no, listen, from a Final Fantasy standpoint, my personal pick was Sid. I just thought everyone would want Clive instead.
No,
what do you guys
everybody
think?
loves Sid.
All right, so let's get rid of Clive.
Whoa, getting rid of Clive too? Why can't we have 2 daddies?
Well, the goal here is to have 5 daddies, so...
Sorry, after seeing Ben Starr make that wonderful dating app commercial,
that mess.
I'm sorry, Clive stays in.
Okay.
I would vote off Leon Kennedy with his 90s boy band haircut.
Oh yeah.
No, Leon.
And I would have to vote off Isaac Clarke because he's crazy, man. I don't know if I'd want to marry him.
Good point.
Might be a good time though for 1 or 2 nights.
I feel like out of all these characters on this list, though, Isaac Clarke is the most human of all these characters.
I'm gonna throw this out there. The only one I haven't heard of is Gale from Baldur's Gate 3.
Gale he's a human. His race is human, so he's a human wizard. That's his class, and he's very good looking.
Is he the one with the trimmed mustache?
Yeah. I think somebody just wants to use his wizard staff, if you know what I mean.
Already did.
I bet it's magical.
That's not the one that sleeps with the
Trying to
bear,
rock that
right?
man's disco stick.
Listen. If you know, if they're
I think.
like
Go ahead. Sorry.
for people with multiple game representation, I'm more likely to inclined to cut. So like I'm more inclined to cut a Baldur's Gate character and a Final Fantasy character than the others, just because I want more variety.
I would
And
say
a better
Clive,
husband.
Sid, and Ganon are locks in the grand scheme.
Okay, you know what, Stephanie? You create these categories. You gotta define them. What makes what makes husbando of the year and waifu of the year? What
Because they're
makes
hot
that?
or because they're good actual husband material?
Well, Pat, since I kind of got that inspired from your EXP podcast topic, would you say it's more of the latter, or do you think it's because when I
Well,
think waifu, I think it's
and when we did that topic in EXP cast, we did incorporate not just looks, but how good of a companion would they be?
Ooh. Well, this propels Isaac Clarke to like one of the top statuses.
Really?
because he's crazy.
Right.
He
Wait, Pat.
defends the
Pat, give
innocent.
us the definition again. Give us the definition again.
Like, would
Not
they?
because they're hot, but what?
I mean, hot looks, but if would you marry this person? Like, if you knew all their good
So
traits
it's
and
not
their
so
bad
much.
traits?
So it's not so much like it's based on their heroics as well. So that's what you.
Yeah,
That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
not saying
okay.
would you bed them just because of looks. Would you are these people you would actually live with for the rest of your
This
life?
motherfucker saved the human race. I
Well,
would say
see,
yes.
I love Leon, but if we define it like that, then we should kick Leon off. I would love to have a one night stand with him, but I wouldn't want to marry the dude.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Where
he's
you
got.
going?
Yeah,
Where
he's
you
already
That's what I'm
got.
saying.
He's already
husbando
got
and
women
waifu.
issues.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's already got a few ladies lined up. Each one
Oh, Claire
progressively
don't want
different.
him. Claire
LeRon,
Redfield doesn't want him.
would,
Yeah.
No,
would you
Ada,
go for
Ada, and
Claire
Ashley
wants
do.
Steve.
Ada doesn't want him either.
Listen,
LeRon?
see now look at Ganondorf. He wouldn't make a good husband. Are you kidding me?
LeRon, would you go for Max from Advanced Wars 1 and 2? Reboot
No,
camp?
he's a lunk.
Yeah, but I'm like, he does
How
look like
fun this topic would be if we actually had a
He's
conversation.
he's a lunk. If I were to go for any male character in Advanced Wars, it'd be Eagle.
Eagle.
All right. Well, let's focus on the ones that we have listed here, because
If we're strictly going by what Pat said, I would say Leon and Ganondorf are out. Because if we're going by hotties, yes, they'd be in. If we're talking about companion husband.
I would say attractive.
But how would you define this, Stephanie?
Mhm.
Because you created these
So-
categories. How would you define it?
So, before you answer, okay, there is and Pat, I think you probably listened to them. What's Good Games, or
Mhm.
they use the term husbando in a very sarcastic way about hot
Yeah.
video game
they-
characters. So
Basically, like Daddy Dwarf,
That's-
so
that's basically how I've always understood that term, is like the hot video game character that you want to, make babies with.
Well, okay, well then, yeah, we'll definitely kick Isaac Clarke off the list.
you don't want to make a baby with Isaac Clarke.
You know what? I love the realism they put into like the remake version of Isaac Clarke, but I think the old school Isaac Clarke looks a little more attractive than the new one, and that's sad to think, because like they tried to make him look like Gunnar Wright, the voice actor, but the voice actor looks better than Isaac Clarke in the game.
Okay, so we're gonna cut Isaac
As a matter of
Clarke.
fact, he's not even the hot character in Dead Space. It's actually Kendra Daniels. Like, oh, she got an upgrade this
Did you
game.
put that in the waifu of the year?
No, but I'm going to.
Great.
Oh, this
Wow.
let's cut. Since we have your blessing, cut Isaac and cut Gale from Baldur's Gate.
Great. That is
Because that's
this list looks
Okay.
great to me.
Looks like it's perfect now. There's 5 characters.
Yeah. All right. So
Okay.
our 5 characters would be
So wait, so
Leon
people are actually
S.
trying to
Kennedy.
embed Ganon.
from Resident Evil 4, Sid from Final Fantasy 16. How do you say that? Asterion from
Asterion. Yeah.
Baldur's Gate 3. Clive Rossfield. God damn it.
Chris Redfield.
Chris,
Final Fantasy 16 and Ganondorf from Tears of the Kingdom.
You know
a
what?
little
Let
mix
me
of
let
good
me
husband
stop.
material, a little mix of hot
Let me
people.
stop being coy because I almost bought the Ganon amiibo on GP when I saw it at Best Buy a couple of weeks ago. I
Wow.
was like, oh, that does look pretty hot.
All right.
I remember when we first showed you that, and you're like, "Why did they have to make him so sexual?"
Exactly. I was like,
Because he didn't know
I
why we
remember
were calling him
Ganon being,
Daddy Dwarf.
I remember Ganon being an
Move it.
overgrown pig man.
And Nintendo gives you an answer for your question, LeRon.
All right, here we go. Waifu of the year. This is gonna be a tough one for me. Ada Wong, Resident Evil 4. Jill from Final Fantasy 16. Shadowheart, Baldur's Gate 3. Pyrrha, Tears of the Kingdom. Professor Mirabelle Garlic from
Mirabelle
Hogwarts
Garlic.
Legacy.
Hold on, I gotta look. This one
Marin
up.
from Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I'm gonna fight for her, just so you guys are aware. And I don't know how to say this name from Starfield. Andrea from Starfield, and Kendra Daniels from Dead Space.
That is a lot. Wow.
I'm not gonna lie, Marin and Andrea are very similar.
Oh, I'm
Their
fighting
personalities, the fact that
Y'all-
they speak in Russian
So
accents.
Y'all
will
like Mirabelle? Like she?
from.
I will say, like, Ada Wong and Purr for me was definitely stay.
Yeah, I think.
And
I think they stay too.
Ada Wong and Pura?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm going to Google right now for Pura.
she's definitely the
I haven't
stereotypical.
played Tears of the Kingdom, so I gotta see.
Stereotypical.
I want to keep Mirabelle Garlic.
Ooh, like hello, hot librarian.
I'm hot for
Okay.
teacher.
Right? Mm-hmm.
Everybody else I
okay.
can argue about because I don't know.
I'm gonna fight you all for Marin from Jedi Survivor.
Fine. You know what? I'm gonna be the first to cast someone out. Like Jill's great, but I don't think she compares to some of these, so I'm okay with getting rid of Jill. Any objections?
She's hot though.
They're all
Yeah,
hot.
but
That's
they're
why they're all
hot.
here. It's time to start looking at
Garlic.
attributes now, Pat.
She would be a nice curing wipe once you break through the icy exterior. Literally.
Yikes.
Okay, so I'm curious. How are we finding any characters from Starfield like good looking when all those characters look plain?
Because
in
Andrea
Starfield?
has a great personality. She's a hit woman.
Yikes.
But
If we're
speaks
adding
with a Russian
personality to
accent.
it, Shadowheart. I mean, I Shadowheart is the #1 romanced character at Baldur's Gate, and that's the only reason why I put her there.
Well, then,
But let me tell you, I personally am not attracted to her, and I like girls too. So just for those that don't know, and then just personality-wise, she's in my opinion, I think you can eventually convince her to whatever. I don't know. I would not be
I feel
upset.
like Aloy's more attractive than Shadowheart.
Yeah, no, I just like I said, I just put Shadowheart because she statistically was the #1 romanced Baldur's Gate character. I don't see why.
Actually, leave her in there because I want to know how everyone votes on that one. I'm
Oh, okay.
curious. Leave her in there.
I'm trying to knock some out.
Get rid of the
I'm gonna say
Starfield character.
I'm gonna say knock Mirabelle out though.
No, that's my fight.
She does not look. She does not look like anything special.
She's not.
She's homely.
She's homely. I'm getting rid of.
So she's
Starfield.
the Brienne of Tarth of Hogwarts Legacy, is what you're saying.
I don't know what that means.
No, she's. I don't know. She would be like
the big tall lady from Game of Thrones.
I never watched the
That's not my definition of homely.
You know who this woman is.
This girl reminds me of Aerith from Final Fantasy VII.
Aerith is more attractive than Mirabelle Garlic. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah,
but Mirabelle knows her plants.
I would also.
And you're saying Aerith vegetables any day. Aerith doesn't?
As much as I love Hogwarts Legacy,
Lulu's
Professor Garlic would be cut for me.
Lulu got from Lulu's.
Lulu's hotter than Error. I'm sorry. Lulu is queen, iconic.
Lulu is like the hottest Final Fantasy character ever.
They're not on this list.
I know.
Focus on the list.
Yes, guys. I'm going to turn into a pumpkin in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Okay.
I'm going to turn into something.
This is taking way too long.
Okay.
It's fine. It's fun. I think Professor Garlic goes, in my opinion.
I agree because I looked
Two.
up how she looks, and I don't think she stands up to most of these other ones.
Uh,
Could you?
and how
She
could
was
I?
the
Like this.
definition.
I'm more inclined to want to get rid of Jill over Garlic, but
Okay.
but does anyone still feel strongly for Jill?
I don't feel strongly about either of these characters.
I don't. Yeah, me same. I don't feel strongly about either one of
You know
them.
what?
Is it killing all
Those-
my...
You know what?
Especially now that I've added a character to the.
I would say
to the
throw
list.
Jill out and put in Professor Mirabelle.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. We'll keep one of them.
Okay.
Pat, which woman are you killing off? It's up to you, Pat. One of them's got to go.
Jill is broken and I want to fix her.
I can change
That sounds like
her.
another personality trait that we need
Right.
to talk about somewhere else.
I can change her.
I can be her light.
Well, it sounds like Professor Garlic doesn't need fixed, so she's staying.
God, this is so fun.
Bye, Jill.
Wow.
Uh,
Keep Jill.
All right. We need to cut one more person.
I vote Pura stays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ada, you know what? I definitely like Ada in Resident Evil 4.
Ada's a
compared to-
lot for me.
Yeah, I definitely like Ada Wong in the remake than I do because like what was she fighting? What was she fighting in her fancy night dress in Resident Evil 4, the original? What? No,
I like
Las Plagas would ate her to shreds.
me too. I mean, what?
Oh.
Yikes.
All right, so
Damn it, you took Jill out of here. Put Jill back in.
Yeah,
I did. Then Professor Garlic's got to go.
Yeah.
that's what we said.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Oh, I
So
thought
are we
Anna-
able to?
I deleted.
Can we
it 'cause
pick
you said
between
she was-
Marin and Kendra?
Yeah, I'm gonna fight for.
Corey wants-
I will fight.
Corey
all-
I would
wants to fight
keep
about
Marin.
Marin.
I would keep Mary.
Yeah, keep Marin.
I want to make alien babies with her.
Let me see Marin.
They all have Russian accents.
I mean, I already have one of those, but
Wow.
I mean,
Wait, you spelled it wrong. It's Merri.
I don't know how to spell it. I was doing this on my phone on the fly at like 1:00 in the morning.
I think Jill's last name is Warwick, but I'm going to double check.
Your last.
Yeah, why are a lot of these have the word P, the letter P after?
Because we were,
That's Pat was voting.
yeah, we
Yeah.
actually were voting with our
Oh.
initials, and then nobody else did it except for Pat and LeRon at one point.
Mhm.
Got it.
Jill Warwick.
All right, well here's our locked list then. Sorry, LeRon.
It's okay.
Ada
It's
Wong.
okay. Even though I am looking for the character that was modeled for Kendra, Brigitte Cali Canales.
Ada Wong from
You know
Resident Evil 4, Pyrrha from Tears of the Kingdom, Shadow Heart from Baldur's Gate 3, Jill from Final Fantasy 16, and
Jill Warwick.
Marin from Star Wars Jedi Survivor for waifu of the
Just
year.
click that link, y'all.
Nope.
No, click it.
I don't want to.
I had to look up
she's
every single one of
pretty.
y'all's characters.
Oh,
I had to look up
she's
every single one of
pretty.
y'all's characters.
do I need to change my decision based on this picture?
No.
I need what picture? Okay.
The one you refuse to look at.
All of them.
I never feel. Ooh.
Right?
All right, I'm closing this before I get distracted. All right, so best worst game is our next category. We seem to have
This is gonna be a fun category.
six,
Oh, this is easy for me.
six games in here. We have Everybody 1-2 Switch, Crime Boss Rock City, The Lord of the Rings, Gollum, Walking Dead Destinies, The Day Before, and Redfall.
Take out Walking Dead, Destinies, and Redfall. And keep the day before.
No,
And that's
no.
it.
You only need to cut
No,
one.
no. No, you only cut one, so I'm saying
I think
Walking
cut-
Dead.
Oh.
Destinies.
Oh, I would.
I was going to cut Redfall, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would cut
Redfall?
Redfall.
I would-
Yeah.
You-
Redfall got better.
I feel
Yeah.
like
Did it?
at least Redfall is a functioning game, unlike 4
Right,
of the
the day
5
before
other
got
ones.
canceled. What 4 days after it came out?
Also, I was actually thinking about cutting Everybody
Or
Want
got
to Switch
abandoned
because
4
my
days after it came
nephews
out.
are obsessed with it.
Let me.
But also,
Oh,
Wait, you're gonna
abandoned.
keep. You're gonna keep 1-2 Switch, right?
I said I
Yeah.
thought about cutting Everybody Want to Switch because my nephews are
No,
obsessed with it. But
You gotta keep it. You gotta keep it because from what I hear from the internet is like nobody asked for that game.
I know, but it's been
No
out
one
for
brought that game.
dude, it was supposed to come out in 2019. It's been sitting on the shelf and they needed a release, so they released it.
Right.
All right. Any I would vote for Redfall to leave this list because at least it was a functioning game and it wasn't great, but it was
Wait. This is
working.
remember now. This is the game. This is the game that that Uncle Phil came out and said, "Okay, we made a mistake."
I know.
Remember,
I know that.
But
Yeah,
but compared to everything else, Redfall did get better. They updated. They got the 60 frames.
If Uncle Phil's doing the apology tour for a game, it's serious.
yeah.
Compared
but
to the
three
day
of these games
before
are
that.
like three of these games look
If
like they
the
came
guy
from
who
PS2.
runs Xbox is coming out and apologizing for a game, just think about this for a second.
All right.
For
Here's
a
the thing.
company that put out a list that they
So-
dipping off and taking everybody money
It seems
is
like-
worser.
It seems like
That's why we're not cutting the day before.
It seems like the locks are the day before Walking Dead Destinies, Lord of the Rings, Gollum, and Crime Boss Rocket City. So it sounds like we need to
Wait,
What?
And everybody wants to switch.
What?
yeah, I thought Everybody Want to Switch was a valid game to keep on the list.
I didn't say that was a lock.
Oh.
I said these are the locks. I think it's between Redfall and Everybody Want to Switch that we cut.
Yeah, I would cut Redfall because the game is better and people are enjoying it, and it is doing better.
I would cut Everybody Want to Switch.
I would say I would argue both of them, but I would actually say in terms of quality, Nintendo's product is probably better than Redfall.
Kind of in agreement with that, but yeah.
You know what? I'm tired of you Nintendo fans giving Nintendo a fucking pass every goddamn time.
Well, we have to have 5 nominations, LeRon. You either pick Redfall or 1-2 Switch.
Right, and I went for Redfall to get cut.
And
I'm picking Everybody Want to Switch
To stay on the list?
to say goodbye. To say goodbye.
no, well then what are you arguing with me? This is the worst games of the year.
Wait, am I mishearing you guys or something?
I think so.
No.
I'm cutting Redfall to not be on the list. I'm keeping Everybody Wants to Switch because didn't nobody buy that game, and
You know
it got
what?
low
Here's the
rankings.
crazy part. I was hoping Metacritic could have helped me on this, but they both have the exact same fucking score.
Yep.
Seriously?
All right, go around.
Both of them have a 56 on Metacritic.
All right, between
That's kind of
all right,
hilarious.
Here's how we're gonna do it. Between Everybody Want to Switch and Redfall. Pat, go. Which one do you cut? This does not go as planned.
1-2 Switch.
I know.
You cut 1-2 Switch. LeRon,
1-2 Switch.
you cut 1-2 Switch. Ed,
Redfall.
Stephanie.
Redfall.
Shit, that means it comes down to me.
Look at his face.
If I cut 1-2 Switch, I'm an Xbox fanboy. If I cut Redfall, I'm the
Oh, we
Nintendo
already
You
know
are.
that.
That's the problem.
Red wire,
You
green
are.
wire, red wire, green wire.
I'm going to you know what? I'm going to cut I'm going to cut 1-2 Switch because more people talked about Redfall being bad. And that conversation was really interesting and a huge story this year.
Mhm.
Also, I
But I
feel like
think that-
Nintendo's product overall would be higher quality than Bethesda's products.
But I just think that Redfall with the update, it just got better.
You also framed it. You
Let's
also
be
framed
honest
it very
here.
well because
1-2 Switch
Redfall.
and Redfall will not win this category regardless.
Yeah, I know.
So-
Yeah, it's not. It's not.
Yeah,
So I don't know why we fought that hard.
because
Because
We're trying to
I'm
make it
admitting
entertaining.
that there's a Nintendo game that's worse, and that if that's coming from me, that says something.
all right. So speaking of worst, the worst game of the year nominees: Redfall, Crime Boss, Rocket City, the Lord of the Rings, Gollum. We didn't even put Kong on here. Is that worth debating?
Honestly, it's the same team as Walking Dead and Gollum.
Okay, well, you know what?
Are you for real? It's the same team?
It's the same
Yeah.
publisher, I think.
The same
Yeah.
publisher
Same-
managed to
same
get 3
publisher.
games that did not even achieve a 4.
Yeah, you said
Wow.
So should we
you
put
said
King-
same
should we
you
put
said
Kong
same
on here?
developer.
Yeah, sorry, publisher.
Then shoot, take Redfall and everybody wants to switch off and put it in King
You
Kong.
know what? I agree on
Okay.
that one right there. though.
Kong, Skull, shit. There.
It's just Kong.
Skull shit.
It's just Kong.
No,
Yeah,
it's
Kong Skull Island
yeah.
something.
Oh, it is
Yeah.
Kong Skull Island?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So
Kong Skull shit.
revamp. I know. Our nominees are Kong Skull Island, Crime Boss Rockay City, Lord of the Rings Gollum, Walking Dead Destinies, and The Day Before.
That
You
works
know-
for
you-
me.
You know this game has to be bad if we completely forgot about it. You know that.
All right. Best.
I thought it was on there.
Our next category is best film TV adaptation. We have to cut one. There are 6. So we have The Last of Us, I think is a lock. Five Nights at Freddy's, Twisted Metal, I will fight for, Gran Turismo, Super Mario Brothers, and Castlevania Nocturne.
Five Nights at Freddy's. I heard that
Five
was
Nights
a
at
terrible
Five Nights at
movie.
Freddy's. Yeah, like
Really?
I watched it the night
Yeah.
it dropped, and I was not impressed. I wanted
They
to be
said-
impressed, but I was not.
They said it wasn't even scary. Like they,
I-
like
it,
it got-
it sure as hell
People
wasn't.
like it because it wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
feel like
I liked it, but not enough to fight for it to be on the list. But
I would've
Yeah,
cut
I will.
I
Gran
liked it.
Turismo,
I liked
in
it.
my
I liked it too, but I don't like it enough to be on this list.
Mhm.
I-
Fair enough.
I feel I would have cut Gran Turismo off of this list, in my personal opinion.
I think Gran
it-
Turismo was a good movie. Was a decent.
Gran Turismo
solid
had
movie.
an original. Well, shit, all of them had original stories. What am I talking about?
I mean, it's not original though; it's based off of a true story, bro.
Yeah,
Okay, well, so Five Nights at Freddy's then? Is that what we're
Yeah.
Sure.
yeah.
great?
Besides, one animated title had to be on here, and I don't technically count like Super Mario movies as an animated movie the same way I count Castlevania Nocturne, because Castlevania Nocturne is hand drawn.
Thanks for describing 2 various animated styles, LeRon. All right, so our nominees for best adaptation are The Last of Us, Castlevania Nocturne, Twisted Metal, which Twisted Metal was amazing. If you guys have not watched Twisted Metal, you should watch Twisted Metal. It'll take you like
Twisted Metal
3
is
days.
good.
Gran Turismo, and Super Mario Brothers. Best strategy. Oh my gosh, why do we have so many things here? Best strategy game: Persona 5 Tactica, Fire Emblem
Keep.
Engage, Pikmin 4, Advance Wars 1 and 2, Reboot Camp, Marvel Snap, Terra Nil, Dune Spice Wars.
Okay. I nominated. Wait, did I nominate Dune Spice Wars? Because if I did, I definitely say take it off.
3,
Okay.
4.
I think I added it because I was looking up the strategy games that came out this year and it got a decent Metacritic score.
I would probably for me, I would take Marvel Snap and Doom Spice Wars off because I haven't played neither.
Oh man,
think
everybody
Terra
loves
Nil-
Marvel Snap though. I think Marvel Snap is a lock, in my opinion.
Yeah, I also agree with that one.
Or then Terra Nil and the other one.
I'm gonna say Engage and Dune come off.
I would say Fire Emblem Engage comes off. I did not care for that. I would,
But a
that
lot
would
of people.
be my vote. But also, I've only played Fire
Here's-
Emblem.
here's-
The only
Engage.
good
here's
thing
the problem.
about the game.
Here's a problem with Fire Emblem Engage because I played a little bit of it and thank God I didn't buy it.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say. I played a little bit of Engage, and you know what? I'm saying what everybody else on the internet's saying. It's not Three Houses.
Mm-mm.
Right. Me and Corey talked about that. But I think Engage is a good game. But I think Three Houses put it at a higher level of expectation that people wanted.
Yeah, I also
If-
think
if-
just real quick. I also think that since Awakening, people really enjoy the story and the social aspects of Fire Emblem, and that's what made it
Mhm.
popular. And this didn't take it away fully, but it made it less valuable to the game in a lot of
And it's
ways.
still
And so it came back down to the rock paper scissors kind of battle
Kind of
system that
tradition,
the traditional Fire Emblem games were made. And I
mean,
think
and the game still looks beautiful and plays well.
yeah.
And it still got good music.
it's not
So
that it's a
that's why I
bad
wouldn't take
game.
it
I
off.
just think these other games are more enjoyable in a lot of different other ways.
I was about to say, if you guys are gonna fight to keep Engage on there, I know what game I'm voting for to get off instead.
What are you voting to get off?
Pikmin.
Oh no!
Oh,
dude,
no.
If y'all gonna keep Engage on there, I'm voting for Pikmin to come
no,
off.
I'm voting
Nope.
for no Pikmin.
I'm keeping.
Pikmin is a lot.
Okay. It
Pikmin
sounds like
wins
it
this
sounds like
category
y'all are
for me.
making the case for Engage. It sounds like y'all were.
No, I was trying to state my case of why I think it's still a good game, even though it wasn't for me. But I think
Uh-huh.
the other games on this list are more, no pun intended, engaging than Fire Emblem Engage.
Good
I'm
luck.
just saying. I'm just saying that it. I think it deserves to be a nominee because it is a good game. It's not. It didn't meet a lot of people's expectations,
Yeah.
but
Well,
it is a really good game, and that's just a
again,
personal thing for me.
all these are great games, but we need to cut one. And my vote would be for Fire Emblem Engage to get cut.
And the only reason I would cut Marvel Snap is because I haven't played it. I don't know much about Terra Nil either, but I think Terra Nil.
Okay. So let's go around the room fast. How's everybody feeling about Marvel Snap?
I say keep. It's a huge hit, man. That game is an incredible hit.
I feel like it's the only Marvel thing that's doing well for Marvel right now. Because the movies and TV shows ain't doing shit this year.
All right, so it sounds like it's 3-1 and then one undecided. Named Pat.
Marvel Snap. Yes or no?
Yes or no?
Sure.
Okay. Keep. All right. Fire Emblem Engage. Yes or no?
What are my other choices?
The ones on the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
You have Persona 5 Tactica,
Yeah.
Pikmin 4, Advance Wars, Marvel Snap, Terra Nil.
So between I don't know anything about Terra Nil, so I would have to go Fire Emblem.
Okay. Fire Emblem gets cut. Goodbye.
Boo.
Well, Ed, you can add it to your personal list.
Don't boo. Like make the Eddies. Make the Eddies and
No,
I do have one.
No, it'll be.
I do have one.
It'll be on our Nintendo Game of the Year discussion for Pal Block. So, all right. So our 5 nominees for that are for Best Strategy Game: Persona 5 Tactica, Terra Nil, Pikmin 4, Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Campaign, and Marvel Snap. Biggest Dork of the Year or Unlikely Hero. We have Dave the Diver from Dave the Diver. We have Agent Casey from Alan Wake 2, Garl from Sea of Stars, Gav from Final Fantasy 16. Is there anybody else we would like to add to this list?
I'm good with that list.
You tell me there's no more comedic characters?
Yeah, just throw Luigi on there.
From what?
Right.
Super Mario Wonder.
Oh yeah, I guess. But no.
Wait, what does this character do besides run and jump?
Nothing.
Biggest dork.
What did all those characters do besides run and jump?
Biggest dork. Unlikely hero.
Unlikely hero.
You're telling me there was nobody in Tears of the Kingdom?
Oh no, I was thinking.
What about the Goron guy?
Oh, yeah.
What's his name? You start with Y.
Yunobo?
Yunobo, yeah.
Done. Yunobo. I love Yunobo. He is such a.
Or Grit from Advance Wars. Grit or Max from Advance Wars.
Do you have an argument to do that over Yunobo?
No, because I have no idea who that character is. So I can't argue for some or against someone I don't know. I mean, what were some of the most talked about characters this year besides Garl?
I mean,
honestly, Garl is the shoe-in.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like Garl's the winner of this list.
Yeah.
Okay. So biggest dork, unlikely hero. We have Dave the Diver, Agent Casey, Garl, Gav, and Yunobo. So those are our locks. Okay. Most memorable moment of 2023. Is this something that we need to keep? That's the first question.
I really don't think so.
I
not really
kind of agree with that, to be honest. I mean, there were some great moments, but nothing that is going to stand out during the test of time. Really.
Yeah, I think the memorable moments happen in real life and not in games. Like the Activision and LTC.
Yeah. Do we want to change this to biggest stories of the year and have 3 nominations or something? But I can't even think of 2 other stories that are like. All right.
I mean, Jim Ryan leaving.
Yeah. Let's just kill this category altogether.
Okay.
There does not need to be a replacement for this category.
All right. Best performance. We have 6. We have 6 here. So we have Neil Newborn as Astarion from Baldur's Gate 3, Ben Starr, Final Fantasy 16, Ralph Ineson as Sid from Final Fantasy 16, Gunnar Wright as Isaac Clarke, The the actress that plays Saga Anderson from Alan Wake 2, Melanie Liburd,
The bird, yeah.
and then Simon Pegg as Phineas Black. Man, Simon Pegg.
I was being obnoxious with Simon Pegg. So if we need to knock one out, like
Wait,
Yeah, Simon.
wait,
He's-
Phineas Black, is that in relation to Sirius Black?
yeah,
Yeah.
yep, it was an ancestor.
Oh,
But he had a very small role in this game.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why
If it's,
I only
if it's
you know,
small, then
he's cool though.
It is
Yeah.
a small role.
He's
Yeah.
funny though.
I'm good with the
Sirius Black
nominations.
was my favorite Harry Potter character.
Yeah, he's a great character.
Phineas does not have any redeeming qualities.
Yeah,
Oh
I
no,
would-
I just really liked Simon Pegg's performance.
Yeah, it was
but
a
So
great
wait,
okay, we could-
performance.
So wait, do we have 5 so we don't have to fight?
We have 6.
Yeah.
6.
We need to cut one.
No, I meant if we get rid of Simon Pegg,
Yeah.
that means
Yeah.
we have 5.
Yep.
Okay, that's easy.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was gonna fight, but if nobody else is, then I'm not.
Who are you gonna fight for?
I was gonna fight for Simon Pegg, but nobody else will.
Oh.
So I'm
Oh.
not gonna bother.
Oh, because I was fighting for Gunner Wright.
So, all right. So, best performance, that's taken care of. Best new character. Is this a category
So-
that is worth having? It seems like there's a lot of nominations.
I mean,
I feel like
I-
how did Isaac Clarke get in the best new category?
Yeah, the ones in yellow I think are a copy and paste error
Yeah.
because they have actors' names there, not character names.
Yeah.
because I love Saga. Yeah, Ochi would be my number
to be
one.
fair, some of these are still new characters, but Gunner Wright.
Yeah,
Or
that is
Isaac Clarke.
that is true. Yeah, that one. Yeah, the Gunner Wright one's not supposed to be in there. I think that was a copy and paste error because I know for sure I didn't actively put that in there.
I mean, I
I
don't.
feel like I'm the only one. I feel like I'm the only one cheerleading for Dead Space, but
Hey, I pulled Dead Space up in 3 different categories, sir.
I know.
I don't know enough about Baldur's Gate to know if these characters are new or not. I always just kind of assumed Baldur's Gate was like Final Fantasy, where like it took place in this like a similar world, but all the characters are new and the stories are different. But maybe not.
That's how I think too. But like I said, I think the ones in yellow were just an error. I don't know, like
Yeah, Asterion is an original character for Baldur's Gate 3. I just looked him up. I just googled him.
Okay. Well, then if we were to keep this category, we need to cut one person, one character.
then cut Ketherick Thorne,
Where's that at? Oh, here.
J.K. Simmons, because I put that for voice acting, which I cut him in voice acting as well. So I'm like,
Okay.
he doesn't need to
Oh,
be
I
there.
guess we need to cut one more. Whoops.
We do?
I think so.
You
thought
then
that
you
was-
cut Sebastian Salo in Hogwarts Legacy. I liked him,
Oh,
but
I liked him too. I thought he was like one of the best characters in the game.
best, yeah. Oh no, then put him back then. I don't know. It's like
Well,
that or
he's on there.
Minoru. Like I just oh he is.
Yeah.
I just saw it vanish. Oh, you moved him.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Wait, hold on.
1, 2.
That's
3.
5. No, we're
Yeah,
it's
Minoru's
right
on
there,
twice,
so
yeah.
okay.
So
But you got Ben Starr, so you're gonna put Clive.
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah. All right. Well, that was easy.
Oh, I want an Ochi in this category.
It's not gonna
Who?
win. Ochi's not gonna win. Ochi's a
Ochi.
cute
Who's
character,
that?
but I don't think Ochi's gonna win. It's the
He's a
dog
new
from
character
Pikmin 4.
for Pikmin 4, and everybody loves him.
Yeah,
Like he is such a great new character. I love him.
he's more of a
these
useful.
characters have voices. Do these characters have voices or just all that noise?
Ochi's more of a
Ochi's
useful tool than a character, in my
But
opinion.
when he
Okay,
catches on
okay.
fire, it's just like the feelings.
Moving on.
All right, most anticipated games of 2024. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth lock for me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Enough for me.
Well, I'm saying in terms of the
Holy
community.
crap, we have a lot of
I
nominees.
know.
Okay, we can get rid of Final Fantasy Dawn Trail. We could.
We could get rid of Tekken 8.
Yeah, I will also.
Dragon's Dogma 2.
I will
Do
cut.
not get rid of the final shape. Do not get rid of the final shape.
Okay. Okay. I was going to sacrifice Destiny for that, but
Well, leave it on there for now. Let's see what happens when we get
okay.
as we whittle this down.
You said get rid of Tekken 8?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
No,
Okay. I'm a Tekken player, and it was a foregone conclusion that we're getting another Tekken game.
It's fair. You really want to cut
If you
it?
played Tekken,
month.
if you played Tekken 7, and you saw the storyline came out, ended up you knew Tekken 8 was coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it looks good on Unreal Engine 5.
Well,
I mean,
these all are
the trailers are
anticipated.
great.
We have to make cuts. We have to make the tough decisions.
Mm,
I would cut Prince
let's
of
see,
Persia.
Star
I
Wars
think it looks cool,
Outlaws?
but I don't know if it's a most anticipated game.
Anticipated, yeah, it's not.
I would cut that.
Okay.
I know Infinite
I would
Wealth
also
is.
say cut Star Wars Outlaws.
Oh, what? That's my most anticipated game
No,
of the year.
that's an
Are you for real?
anticipated
Yes.
one. Yeah,
You guys
Are
think
you
that's
for real?
coming
Yes,
out
I'm-
this year there?
yeah.
1,000%.
That is
Besides,
a big anticipated.
besides the final shape, like Star Wars Outlaws is my most anticipated game that's been announced right now.
Well, damn! I just threw out a most wanted game of my own and shit. Like, okay, well,
I mean, I said I would
what
sacrifice
it is.
Destiny, and you told me to keep it. So
Well, what else
well,
do we
yeah.
have?
Well,
We have
I told you
we
to
have-
keep it because I
Mario?
figured like, what?
I would keep
What was that,
Paper
Stephanie?
Mario.
Paper Mario.
I mean,
As a your door, I would keep.
You said Like a Dragon is a lock.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a lock. Infinite
I think-
World, yeah.
Okay.
I think Hellblade 2 got to get cut.
No,
No, no.
Only
That's a
because
lock.
it's.
that is
I
a lock.
no,
sir.
I don't think it's a big anticipated game. I don't trust Microsoft at this time because I feel like that game gonna get delayed to next.
Wait,
year,
you think it's gonna get delayed?
to next
You're gonna
year.
think you're gonna
It's
you're
been-
gonna think it's
it's-
delayed. You're gonna
It's
you're
been
gonna think
it's been it was that game
It's
was
never.
supposed
It's
to
always
way
had a-
been out.
It's always
it
had
was
a
never
20
it was never announced.
It's always
it was
had a
never
2024
announced.
It was
release
it was
date.
never announced. I can understand, but I'm like that was announced when the system was about to release, and it's almost been 5 years.
I know,
No,
but it's
not
always
5
had a
years.
2024 release
Okay.
date. It's never been.
Okay, so if you're gonna use that argument, then we should also use arguments for other games that were announced at a console launch but have not been out.
Which one besides Metro Prime? That's the only one.
Elden Ring won that shit. What 3 years in a row?
Well, all right.
Yeah.
Let's just focus on the games on the list. Like
Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
I'm excited for Hellblade. I think it's Xbox's most anticipated exclusive right now. I'm gonna say it's a lock.
I agree with that.
I'd vote for that.
Outside of Fable, maybe, but Fable's not coming this year.
I-
So
I just don't trust it.
I hear
going
less
out.
people talking about Fable than I hear talking about Senua's Saga.
yeah, but I think it's because we've seen a lot more of Senua's Saga. To be fair, but
Yeah, and
also,
Fable
like,
just got
Fable
announced.
ain't
Yeah,
coming
and
out
Fable
for a
just got
while.
announced last year at Summer Games. So
I mean, I will sacrifice Star Wars. I thought a lot of people were excited for Star Wars. But
Wait, did we
I
talk
am
about
excited
Dragon's
for
Dogma?
it. I don't
No.
think it's coming out this year.
We haven't talked about Dragon's Dogma because I feel like Dragon's Dogma is kind of safe.
Mhm.
That's the way I feel. I feel like it's kind of safe because Dragon's Dogma is one of those weird ass games where I thought nobody was still playing, and to hear like everybody's still playing this game was like wow for me because I didn't care for Dragon's Dogma.
I feel like Dragon's Dogma has a real Monster Hunter effect where like the people that love the first one love it, and then it just got popular over time to where Dragon Dogma 2 is going to be huge.
Yeah.
I think it's and plus I think it's just a holdover to Monster Hunter Wild next year to 2025.
Nah, the Dragon Dogma like crowd is no. Is
No,
nowhere
I'm saying
close to the Monster
I'm
Hunter
saying
crowd.
for Capcom that game is a whole until Monster
right.
Hunter Wild.
All
come
right,
out.
guys, we have 6 more categories. Let's wrap this one up real quick. I mean, not real quick, but I want to stay on target. I like the conversation, but I feel like that's going to be a topic for when we discuss 2024 Metacritic draft and year in review or year in preview.
So which one are we dropping? Star Wars Outlaws
Right.
or The Final Shape?
Well, we have to drop
Is there
3
still another
more.
one?
There's
Oh crap! I forgot about those 1,000-year.
I
Door.
said
three
I
locked
would
right now and
sacrifice.
2 maybes.
I think I'm gonna sacrifice Final Shape just because I think Destiny players are excited for it, but also the turmoil that studio's going through. I think
Mhm.
part of the Destiny community is kind of disappointed and maybe going to boycott it at some point. So I'm gonna cut that. So we're down to
Oh my god, y'all are gonna let Sony just have Bungie because that's what's gonna happen.
look. I just need to get through the Final Shape, man, and then
That's it.
we'll see. All right. So we have Tekken 8.
I-
Yes or no?
I feel Paper Mario is going to be more popular than Dragon's Dogma.
I'm fine sacrificing Tekken 8 since that's coming out next month.
Okay.
That's the way I feel too. I feel like
Or
1,000-Year
time-
Door is gonna be more popular than Dragon's
All right,
Dogma.
we need to
That's the way I feel too.
We need to
Yeah.
cut one more. Paper Mario.
Yeah.
Or
We're saying cut Dragon's
or-
Dogma for Paper Mario.
okay.
yeah,
Okay, great. There it is. Look at us moving through categories like shit in the woods.
We should have been doing this like 2 hours ago.
Oh man, this is good. This is good content. Stephanie wants to go to bed. She's yelling at us in her head.
Oh, sorry, I've been up since like 3 or 4 because of my son.
Yeah.
So I'm like really.
That's why I chugged 3 Red Bulls.
Hey, well, good news. Well, good news for PC Game of the Year. We have 5 titles, so we can
Let's
lock
skip.
that down.
That's locked.
Okay. I mean, I think the console ones are pretty easy at this point.
All right, so PC Game of the Year was
PlayStation.
PC Game of the Year was Dead Space, Baldur's Gate 3, Hogwarts Legacy, Armored Core 6, Fires Rubicon, and Alan Wake 2. There's our category for that one.
All right.
Oh, here I got PlayStation 1. I got the 5th one.
All right.
Yeah,
There we go.
that's what I was going to add there.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
All right, PlayStation.
That's locked.
Yep, PlayStation's locked. We're going to lock that
We got
in.
Spider-Man 2,
okay.
Final Fantasy 16, Horizon Call of the Mountain, Forspoken, and Tachia.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a fight between Final Fantasy and Spider-Man, and I think Final Fantasy locks this category up, but that's my opinion. All right, Nintendo Game of the Year. We had a lot in this category, and I think we just ended up wiping most of them out because people didn't really care. Most of them were remakes
what
also.
happened?
Well, most of them were remasters also, and they're not eligible for this category. So Nintendo Games of the Year, Tears of the Kingdom, Fire Emblem Engage, Pikmin 4, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and Bayonetta Origins were the 5 original titles that came out this year. That's a lock.
Yep.
Xbox Game of the Year, Hi-Fi Rush, Forza Motorsport, Starfield, Planet of Lana, and Ravenlock.
That's a lot. I'm good with that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do we want to keep 10
God,
for the
here-
last one?
All right, Game of
Here
the
we
Year.
go.
Do we want to leave 10 titles for Game of the Year?
I think that would be the safest.
Or do we, I mean, is there anything that's not on this list that we should add and cut something else? I know this is our last
let's see
category,
something.
everybody.
You know what? So I'm going to say this, and I know I'll probably get yelled at. I would cut Star Wars Jedi Survivor and replace it with Liza P.
I'm going to cut you.
Or cut Spider-Man 2 and put Liza P. Because a lot of people are not expecting it, but a lot of people really like that game.
Yeah.
And I think
I
Liza
would-
P does deserve.
I
a
would
Game of the
keep
Year
Star
nomination.
Wars over Spider-Man.
Mhm.
It's like,
This is hard for me to say. Because I feel like out of all of Sony's titles this year, like if an SIE game doesn't wind up on the list, then I feel like Sony didn't represent or
yeah, but Final
there's
Fantasy's
something- or there's
still on
some-
here.
that's not SIE.
I
though.
know, but it's still an exclusive for the time being. And it's way better than Spider-Man, let's be honest, in my opinion.
Okay, I can agree with that.
So remove Spider-Man.
All right, so if we cut Spider-Man, what was the nominee to go on this list?
Liza P.
Liza P was the option thrown out. I don't know. Also,
Wait a damn
remakes
minute.
and remasters are not eligible for Game of the Year. Everybody, that's that.
Oh, it's not okay. Because I was about to say I had to look at Dead Space. Speaking of which, we need to go back to our Metacritic.
I know it's on the list. It's the second episode of the year. I'll get you guys the list.
Okay.
And then also, I think this year we're gonna do Metacritic draft different, but we'll talk about that at a different date. But
All right. Yeah, go ahead and kick Spider-Man and put Liza P in its place. Was there any other standout?
That's what I'm trying to look at real quick before, because like, what if there's a game that's better than Liza P that could be on here, or one of the other games, I guess, also too, right?
Are there some games better than Tears of the Kingdom?
I mean, there's a
Nope.
few, but not many.
Metacritic wise, only the one that's better is Baldur's Gate 3.
Mm-hmm.
Console wise, Zelda's the highest with Metroid Prime Remastered being second.
Wow,
and
this
Mario
guy came
Wonder
up
being
receipts
third.
tonight.
What about?
This guy came up.
I mean,
No, because those three games are in the 90s.
Wait, Corey, you're about to
Okay.
suggest a new game.
are there any indies that deserve to be on a Game of the Year list? I mean, I know Sea of Stars ended up on a lot of people's, but I also want to make sure that we cover our basis and make sure that we include a game that deserves to be on here, not just the heavy hitters that everybody puts on here.
See, if I
Space
were
for
to
the
say
Unbound is my number 3. So
if I were to say like an indie game, it would be Sea of Stars for me. But that's
So Space for the
but I
Unbound and
think
Sea of Stars, do they deserve to be on here any more than any other game on this list right now?
oh, I say no. Oh, I say no.
What about you, Pat? Do you think Space for the Unbound deserves to be on here?
over some of these other ones.
Yes. And if so, which one? Which ones?
Yeah, that's the thing. I can't.
You can't?
I can't. That Space for the Unbound is more personal preference.
Yeah.
Like
for me personally, I would put Sea of Stars or Space of the Unbound over Diablo 4.
nope, you're keeping
Here the
Diablo
fuck
4.
we go again.
I'm just saying.
I mean, on this entire list, if we were to move a game off of it, Diablo 4 would have been my pick too. But it's on here because I think it deserves to be on here. I just want to make sure everybody is okay with the list before we lock it in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
I'm good with it.
I'm absolutely fine with the list.
All right. Our Game of the Year nominations for 2023 are The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, Final Fantasy 16, Hogwarts Legacy, Baldur's Gate 3, Alan Wake 2, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Diablo 4, Pikmin 4, Lies of P, and Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
All right. Now I need to ask a question here.
Yes.
We have 10 games on this list.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
How are we going to do a tiebreaker on this? Because that's an even split.
Well,
I feel like we should make this an odd number.
I feel like with the writing team voting, us voting, and our patrons voting, I don't think we'll have that problem.
We're clear. Okay.
And if there, for some chance, the number, like whatever games end up tying, quote unquote, we'll use Metacritic as the tiebreaker.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's perfect, actually.
Yeah. So that's
you know what, it would be fun, when we record this, we can, obviously announce the winner, but we can do it in like a countdown, 10, 9, 8,
Yep.
or is that too difficult?
That's in my notepad, whatever you call it, notes outline.
Your notes
Yep.
in your notepad.
Yeah. Thanks, Stephanie. Look, it's late. Okay, it's midnight.
Yeah.
So
Look, I'm just giggly like
yeah.
Okay.
Well, good job, everybody. We did it. We did the game of the year. We have how many categories? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. We have exactly 30, which is exactly
30 categories.
Which is exactly what I wanted, was 25 or 30 categories.
Okay.
All right.
I think we did a good job then.
We did.
Yes.
We did. And we're not going to vote. Obviously, our presentation is not going to be in this order. We will make the order fit how we think it should fit. But we did it. That was amazing. This was awesome. I've always wanted to have this discussion, and we did it. I'm so excited.
We did.
All right.
We had some great discussions.
And it wasn't a fucking dumpster fire.
No, it was only a match got thrown.
The dumpster fire comes when the voting happens.
Yeah. All right. So we got to make a Google form out of this, I guess is what they're called, right? And then we will. So I will actually work on that now because I've got some other work to do as well anyway. And so I will do that. And then tomorrow I'll send it to you guys for like a pre-check type thing. And if it's good to go, I'll finalize it and we will send it out to patrons and the writing team. And then obviously we all have to vote. And
I'm a big old asshole because I'm just sitting back to Corey says, "Where's Dead Space?"
Hey man, look.
It doesn't matter. Every category on here is Dead Space.
I think Dead Space is a lock for remake remaster, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean,
as much as I really liked Metroid Prime Remastered and really actually enjoyed Resident Evil 4, I think Dead Space is there. So, anyways, we'll have that discussion. First episode of the year, we'll do our top games of the year for Boss Rush Podcast. Ed and I will do our top Nintendo games for POW Block, and then our top 10 for Expansion Pass for the year. So get ready for that. Patrons, thank you for listening to this extra content for you guys. I know, we missed a couple weeks, but this is kind of our makeup for you guys. And thank you for supporting us financially, whether you're at the $1 tier all the way up to the $10 tier. We appreciate you guys. I imagine this will go out as a YouTube video later at some point, but the audio version and the video will be exclusive to Patreon for, a little while. So, Pat, LeRon, Stephanie, Ed, thank you for joining me on this discussion. This was fun. I'm glad we decided to record this. And everybody out there, thanks for listening, and we will see you in 2024. Goodbye.
Happy New Year,
Everybody.
Happy New Year.
If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network and our family of podcasts.